What's up, everybody? This is Caro Skate Podcast. This is episode 18, right, William?
Yes.
Episode 18. We got Mike Ambrose. Took the day off, came all the way up from the Springs early this morning for a little matinee podcast. Happy to have him. Thanks for coming up.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you,
Thank you.
actually, too.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, so
Thanks for having me.
yeah, you're welcome. Super glad to have you. So what else you got going on today?
Pretty much just nice drive up from the Springs. Didn't hit too much traffic. The police officers that I did see were pulling other people over, so then managed to keep my foot off my gas pedal and chill out a little bit. Even in my 50s, I still got a lead foot, so I'll be 54 this year. My birthday's on Halloween,
Oh,
so
sick.
always just been kind of a ghouly ass kid, And so getting into that, I've got a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
Wall hanger,
Oh,
or
hell
you can
yeah.
skate it.
Sick. What's the story behind this? Thank you so much.
Yep. So basically, that is a ripoff of an album cover that I liked growing up from an actor and musician named Meatloaf, and he was in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and he was also in Fight Club. He was Bob with the
Can you
big
take this, Will?
with the
Thank you
big
so much.
boobs. Yep.
He was in. I was just watching Wayne's World the other day. He was in Wayne's World too, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he passed away in 2022, and I had just turned 50, and so I really liked this album cover growing up that my sister had called "Bat Out of Hell," and thought it was kind of like Halloweeny, and it was just him like whiskey throttling out of the graveyard, and I liked the background and the bat on it, so um, we had an artist just kind of do that background, but then she painted myself and my wife on there for the Halloween costumes that we dressed up in the year before. There's a little thing in Manitou called the Emma Crawford coffin races, and the history behind that was that Emma Crawford had gotten buried up on this hillside, and it rained really bad, and her coffin got exposed and slid down the hill. So in memory of that, Manitou every year has this weird little race called the coffin race, where you make your own little coffin, and you have a team of, I think, three other people, and they've got to push you up Manitou Boulevard, and literally it's a race, so whoever gets to the top first wins.
Have you done it?
And I went and watched it,
Uh-huh.
and have never entered, but it always just is such a good time because there's just hundreds of people lining the street watching people do crazy, stupid Halloween shit, So
Yeah.
it's always during Halloween. So um, I we dressed up to go to the coffin races, and I wore this wolf mask, and then my wife dressed up as Celine from Underworld, like the vampire from Underworld, and she had like pistols and patent leather and fake fangs. It's so sick. So she took those likenesses of us and painted them on the graphic, and then she put a couple of little, whatever you want to call it, golden eggs or cookies in there. She put one of the tombstones as the shape of a loaf of bread for Meatloaf,
Uh-huh.
and then it's got the Roman numeral 50 in there, which is the letter V for my 50th birthday. And so those are just boards from my buddy Travis McLaughlin, who owns Point Distribution in Henderson, Nevada. And then he just bought the factory in Mexico that was BBS, and that's called. I remembered it this morning, but it's a laminate company, and yeah, they sold their company in Travis, so now he has two of the biggest skateboard manufacturing companies, kinda U.S., because everything that comes from Mexico, from Tijuana, comes up to like San Diego and is distributed out throughout the U.S. So he makes a lot of boards for a lot of different companies, I guess, these days. I can't really like throw any names out there, but I know he's pressing boards for shops and a couple of like some of these bigger brands, and they're really good, rock hard 7-ply boards.
Is that what you always skate now?
Yeah, and that's the board I skate all the time. I actually ride an 825, and that is an 8.5. So if anyone wants to skate it, or you want to hang it on the wall, or whatever, you have one of those. And it's just every once in a while I'll get maybe 30 to 50 boards made, and 22 $24 a piece, depending on if you do colored veneers on the top sheet, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I've given my my local buddy Aiden Jordan, who I skate with in the springs, a couple boards. Just anytime he needs one, I flow him one because that kid rips.
Yeah.
And it's just sick to see like the younger generation still skating well, and like I don't know, it's cool to see him name off a trick and he'll just do it. So it's I've watched him 360 flip the manual pad at Memorial Skate Park off of like bump over like a 12-foot manual pad, and I'm like, holy shit!
Is that in the springs?
In the springs, yep. So that's I guess our biggest skate park, and not necessarily our newest one, but the biggest one that up to date that we had is it's about 40,000 square feet, and it's a Team Pain park.
Oh, you have a paint park there?
Yeah, that was built in 2007 to 2008, and that's honestly where I got to know all those guys. James Hedrick was the foreman on that build, and he has a house up here in Denver that they call the Duck Pond, and the Denver Danglers pretty much skate there every Thursday night. This guy Zach Cusano lives there now, and they have it's pretty gnarly. It's got wedding cake stairs, a death box, and a little love seat, or like a little kind of like a little channel in there, and it's tight. It's full on like pools, like swimmer skater pool. So James built that, and then he ended up moving up to Summit County, I think, and renting that house out. So, but it's rad that skaters actually like live there, and they session it every Thursday. So, Denver Danglers is, I don't know, group of like the Bacon skateboard dudes, the Send skate brand up here in Denver, and yeah, it's just Chuck Pontone is it's crazy to watch that dude just flow around bowls like it's like not a big deal. And I'm like, holy shit, that's like so hard. So it's cool to still be my age and still skating with a lot of guys that are pretty good, you know. So those guys skate the D Park, and then they'll skate pretty much like Frederick and Broomfield, all that stuff. So
you've always been in the springs?
Yep.
It's your hometown, or?
Yep, pretty much. My dad was in the Army and helicopter pilot.
Oh, that's it.
And so,
do you know anything about helicopters?
I honestly wanted to follow in his footsteps, and kind of took my ASFAB test. Did pretty good. Took my physical up here in Denver, and was about 2 seconds away from being in the Army, and really just didn't care for my recruiter, and I didn't really care for, like, he wouldn't really let me know what my MOS was going to be, what my job was going to be.
What year was that?
That was in 1990. So
oh, shit.
I would have joined right after high school in 91, and then probably went to Desert Storm.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I was like in preschool.
Yep. And so I don't know, I kind of got cold feet, and I started skateboarding in '88, and was just starting to.
How did you come across skateboarding?
Pretty much was conceived in Colorado Springs, and then on the way to Germany for my dad's first tour in Germany. I was born in Alabama on the way to Germany, and we stayed in Alabama for like 3 months, and then went right to Germany. So first 3 years of my life, like, yeah, 1, 2, 3 years old, Germany. My sister
What
Allison
what
was
part of
born there.
Germany?
A town called Fulda, which was right next to the east-west German border.
The
And
wall was still up back then.
yeah, and the wall was still up back then. I actually skated on the wall in West Berlin when we went there for a trip.
Sick.
And we went over to East Berlin for dinner, and I had my first skateboard with me, and I got to just do a couple kick turns on it,
Wow.
and was like, it's all spray painted and muraled out on this side, and then when you went to the East German side, you couldn't even get close to it. It wasn't transitioned up like it was on the east side. It was crazy. It was like night and day.
Yeah, it
Barbed
really
wire
was.
fence,
It was a whole different world.
landmines, all on the East German side because they didn't want people getting across the border that way. But the West German side, it was like, and it was art for them. So got to skate on the Berlin Wall. And then when we moved back to Colorado, I watched on TV them taking pieces of it down.
Yeah, I
and was
remember
like,
that too.
"Holy shit!"
I remember I was in preschool. I had no context of it. I didn't know anything about it. But I remember someone came into our preschool and he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "Here's some." He had like a slideshow because he was like in the military or something. He's like, "Yeah, this is a picture of the Berlin Wall." He's just showing a bunch of. I think I was in kindergarten actually, showing a bunch of kindergartners. I'm like, "What's a Berlin Wall?" Like, I remember still to this day, like vividly remember that slideshow of that, but I didn't have any cultural context
Yep.
at all or know anything of history about it or anything. But I remember him showing us that slideshow.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, like what happened after World War II, and like my dad said, we were there as an occupational force, and it was basically just to keep an eye on the East Germans and the Russians, you know. So he flew his helicopter up and down the border. Little shack would move overnight up a couple hundred yards or whatever, and they would have to notate that or what. But he didn't ever have to shoot at anybody. I guess he was in Vietnam, so got voluntold to go to Vietnam
Yeah.
in like the 60s, and then he made a career out of it and became a helicopter pilot and retired as a CW3 chief warrant officer 3, so pretty good retirement. And then he was in the worked at the DMV doing driving tests and security wide field, which is southern Colorado Springs basically, for about 10 years, and then now he just chills and watches YouTube and raises chickens and gives us eggs every week, you know.
He's in the Springs still too.
Yeah, he's still in the Springs.
You guys stay in touch.
Yep.
You guys close.
Yep, I see him every 2 weeks because he was gracious enough to offer to loan us a little bit of money to pay off credit card debt because it was just kind of stressing my wife and I both out about having $12,000 worth of debt and watching half of it go to interest and half of it go to principal every month. So he's like, "Man, I'll loan you the money and you just pay me back
No,
0% interest."
That's great.
And I was like, instead of paying $300 or $330 on my credit cards every month, I'm just gonna do like 500 and really watch this go away. So 2 years and my credit card will be paid off. And I'm not fucking with it again. I'm not putting money on my credit card. If I don't have money, I'm just not doing it. So it's catch-22 because you want some cool things and some nice things, but it's just not worth it. So
yeah, credit cards they're tricky. If you can buy them to buy something that's gonna make you money, it can be worth it. But if you're buying it for anything else, you're gonna get stuck.
And I'm bad. I was just like, I'll pay that off later, and then I end up just paying like bare minimum instead of like paying it off. So yeah, got caught up, and so we see him once a month, give him his $500, hang out, check out the chickens, tell some stories, and he had prostate cancer, got that taken care of at the VA hospital, and now he's kind of on some hormone therapy to kind of suppress it, but it's not all the way gone. But he's 74 years old and kind of an old hermit, you know, chills at home by himself, married and divorced 3 times, so he ain't messing with it no more. So
yeah, just kind of chilling.
But back to kind of how I got into the first skateboards was we went back to Germany when I was 13, and it was just my dad and I. He'd just gotten divorced from my stepmom Teresa, and you know, he's a free man. So we went over there, and that's the first time I drank beer with my dad at Oktoberfest at like 13 years old. Learned a couple German words, just enough to get around town, like what the hotel number was and Tag and stuff like that. And so As I When I was 14, I kind of had little homies, little friends that were in the Boy Scouts, and a couple of them were skateboarders, and I was just this little BMX kid. Kind of used my BMX bike to go to football practice in elementary school and to get around the neighborhoods. And I think I had like an old Nash skateboard in the garage that my dad bought, but I never really considered myself a skateboarder then. I never.
Nash skateboards were pretty ass.
They were a
They
Walmart board
yeah,
essentially,
basically.
and so it was a piece of shit. It was a piece of shit grip tape. Even though we had this skate park down off of Galley Road and Wooten Road called Earth Surfers, and I'll get into that a little bit. But Earth Surfers was this crazy like old school '70s park that had a capsule. I think it, my mind's eye, I don't think it really had coping. It was more or less just like kind of flowy '70s park. But there was a little hole in the fence, and my sister and I would go down there and pull the fence up and ride our bikes in it, and maybe butt board around on the Nash, But when we moved to Fulda, Germany, and I became friends with these other army brats, we all were in the Boy Scouts together because we wanted to go on some of these little trips to get out of town, which was awesome. We got to take the ferry across the English Channel and go to Great Britain for a Boy Scout trip and camp on the cliffs of Dover, which was pretty sick. And then we ended up having to try to get, merit badges by building a lean-to or making a campfire with flint and stone. And so I never really took Boy Scouts that serious. I just did it, because my buddies did it. And then those same friends, they all had a CCES little pamphlet, and CCS is still around, and it was then back in like 86, 87, I think. And you could get old Converse, like Chuck Taylor's, multiple colors. And I thought it was so cool because I got a maroon pair and a black pair, and I'm like, wear a black one and a maroon one at the same time and whatever. But we went to this town that wasn't too far away from Fulda, Germany, called Bad Hersfeld, and they had a soccer field there, and the city built a vert ramp, and we had heard about it, and so at least those guys did, and so we took a trip to Bad Hersfeld to check out this giant half pipe that they built. And when we got there, it was a fucking 12-foot tall vert ramp with a channel, and I was like, I'm not riding my bike on this. There's no way my freaking bars will fit through. And
Oh,
there was
to roll in on.
yeah,
They had to roll in on the channel,
yeah,
or
they had a roll in on the channel, and it was like
clip your handlebars
yeah,
on the both
like
sides.
clip on the way in. There was a soldier there that was in the army, and he was probably from West Coast. I don't remember exactly where he was from, but he was really good skateboarder, and we were just like, whoa, that guy can like do airs and drop in and do lip tricks on this vert ramp. And he's like, you can try my board if you want. And that's why I'm always nice to kids whenever I'm at the skate park. Like,
what kind of board was it?
it was, I think it was an Alva board.
The single kick,
Yeah,
fish
yeah,
shape.
yeah. I just remember he had OJ2 like Hasoi rocket wheels, and I wanted those like after like skating with that guy for the day. But tried his board and literally just kind of figured out how to pump back and forth on this ramp. I'm probably 15 years old at that time, and was getting all the way up to like where the roll in came through, and then coming back down. And he's like, you should try rolling in, and got up on the top and rolled in. None of the rest of my friends did it, and I did it and didn't eat shit. Like I just took to skateboarding, I guess, kind of like a duck.
What'd you do on the other wall? Did you just like pivot?
Pretty much just got up to the top and jumped up,
just
grabbed
bailed?
on and slid down. But I was instantly hooked. And when we were getting ready to leave, he's like, "Hey man, I've got an extra board in my car. You can have it. It's slightly used. Didn't really have graphics on it. The grip tape was all a little chewed up or whatever." But I was like, "Oh man, thank you so much." So got a pair of used wheels with bearings in them and a used skateboard from him. So took it back to with us and took it to my shop class and peeled the grip tape off of it and just kind of sanded everything down, kind of glued the delaminated parts back together and put a clamp on them, and then kind of just reconditioned it. We'll just say
So this is 1988.
this was probably 88. Yeah,
Okay.
and I was 15
In
so,
Germany.
Yep, in Germany. So I found some. Used to have like a palm sander, and they would have these little square pieces of grip tape. You peel the back off and stick it on your sander, and that was my grip tape. So
Sick.
I peeled those off and stuck it all over the board, and then I had those wheels, and then a buddy just gave me some. I don't even know what trucks they were. I think they might have been Gull Wings, and that was my first sort of skateboard that was all hand me down stuff.
Dang, that's sick.
But then we had this spot we called the Glass Palace, and it was where a lot of the enlisted guys had housing. Out front, it just had like a two stair, and then maybe like 30 feet of flat, and then another two stair. And on both sides, there were rails that kind of went down and then out flat, and probably knee height or so. And I just remembered, seeing Naudis and Mark Gonzalez and those guys on the videos, the couple videos and the couple magazines we would get in Germany.
How did you get those? Just order them on CCS too?
Yeah, order them on CCS, and then of course the homies had them already, and we were just all sitting around looking at comic books and then looking at skateboard magazines and watching like the first PAL video and just going, man, mind blown. Like this is possible, but we didn't really know how to do it. There was nobody teaching us, so learned board slides probably on a curb, and then launch ramps. That was like the launch ramp era, so it's like learn how to early grab 360 off of ramps. And
You were doing that already?
yeah, like
How long did it take you to learn that?
probably within the first year.
Really?
Just like because of course we see everybody doing judos and anti-judos, and like I don't know how it was. I learned how to do like frontside and backside 360s off the launch ramp by doing frontside grab or backside grab.
That's not easy at all,
360s.
especially when you're like, I can't imagine learning that stuff like in the 80s.
Yeah. And boards were no nose, crazy kicktail, super like 10-inch wide. They were heavy.
Did you have all the rails and the tail like plastic tail block?
I only had rails, and then I had like I don't even think grip was out yet, but they made like a nose bone rail, and I think my board had a nose bone rail on it.
Little horseshoe.
Yeah, a little horseshoe that you would rat nut on there, and then just regular rails. And so yeah, I learned how to.
You didn't have like the truck like axle copers and all that.
No, I didn't have a copers or a bird. Just whatever those like the homie gave me, and then went from launch ramps to just learning how to ollie down the two stairs and then ride out and do the two stair. And then it was like, I don't know, somehow I learned how to board slide the flat rail on one side. Apparently my friend said I got knocked out on it, and I don't remember. I don't remember it. I remember landing it a few times, but I don't remember the day that I actually knocked myself out.
You keep in touch with any of those guys?
I do, kind of on Facebook.
Oh, sick. Where are they at?
Chuck White, when we come back stateside, everyone's parents end up going back to wherever they were stationed at. So yeah, one buddy lives in Montana, another dude lives in like South Carolina, and then it's funny, my friend Tony Gillot, he decided that he was going to camo his face one day for playing GIs, GI Joe shit and being little punks, and he had some green and some like tan face paint, but he didn't have any black, so he just went and got some shoe polish from his dad's whatever closet and put a little bit of black shoe polish in there, and it burned his face up super bad. He ended up like breaking out in those spots where the black shoe polish was. But it's funny because he tagged me on a video of his son doing 360 flips in the garage, and he had these like Grinch pants on, And I was like, I have those. I have those fucking cheesy ass pants. So I went upstairs and grabbed them and went and filmed a 360 flip in the garage and sent it back to him. And I was like, yeah, bro, I still got these. So it was just pretty funny. But I keep in touch with a few of those guys on social media, which is kind of rad. And
Yeah.
of course, Tony doesn't really skate anymore. He's more of a football coach.
Uh-huh.
But it's cool that he got his kid into skateboarding.
Yeah.
And his kid's like, Dad, you used to skate? And he's like, I think he did film a kickflip and send it to me. And I was like, I still got it. And I'm
Wow.
like, that's so sick.
That is super sick.
So yeah, I basically got a hand-me-down board. And then I learned how to launch ramp. We would push the launch ramp against the wall and do wall rides and slam into the ground until you learn how to like
Turn.
crawl grab and pull it off and whatnot. So learn how to like frontside, backside wall ride, do backside board slides, and then I learned how to do kick flips. And then it was like kickflip off stuff. I can also start kick flipping up stuff.
This is still just on the fat fish board. You learned all that stuff.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And then we moved back to.
And so hold on, like, because at this point it's all vert. Like vert is still like that's like what's everyone's focus, right? So you only had that huge vert. Were you more skating street or?
It was mostly
Just
street
whatever
because
you
we
could.
didn't have a ramp on the fold base, and we didn't really go back to Bad Hersfeld ever again to skate the vert ramp. So
you just had
we
by
didn't
virtue of not having any choice.
Yeah, and it wasn't like when you were overseas and stationed that anybody had a backyard mini ramp, and at least that I could go find. And I honestly went in between my house and Post, and that was about it.
So were there you guys getting street videos? Like
we weren't even really videoing at the time. I think we took pictures.
No. We're from CCS and stuff.
Oh,
so like because you didn't create the kickflip. You saw someone else do it. Right?
I literally remember seeing Gons doing kickflips and probably Ray Barbie, and was like, I want that. I want to street skate. I want to do like no complies off of stuff and 43 shifties. And yep. I honestly had only ever even just learned kickflips. I didn't know that there was other ways to flip your board until we moved back. And yeah, but it wasn't like I was a vert skater or a transition skater. We were just kind of like skating around the local stuff we had on Post. And that just happened to be a couple stairs and one flat rail, and then the other launch ramp that we built. And then
I mean, what else could you ask for at that time?
Yep.
It's kind of a lot.
My dad got reassigned back to Colorado Springs, and on the way back to the Springs, he had to take a flight class for flying a different helicopter or for something. But we stayed in Virginia, Newport News, Virginia, for about 6 months, and my cheap ass dad didn't want to like rent a place because he knew we would have to sign a lease on. So he decided to buy a hunting trailer because he was going to use that when we got back, that would attach to his truck with like a fifth wheel attachment. And so we stayed in a 30-foot long hunting trailer for about 6 months. But as soon as we moved to Virginia, all of our household goods were packed up, including my skateboard.
Oh no.
So they wouldn't let me take that on the plane, or at least I didn't know you could take it on the plane. So we just literally packed everything up. Didn't snowboard at the time. I had my skis. I was a little skier kid from 3 until probably 13 or 14. So all of our shit was packed up, and we moved back to Virginia. And my dad knew that I was already hooked on skateboards, and so we went to local surf shop. It was called 17th Street Surf Shop in Virginia Beach, and he goes, "Pick out a new board, get whatever you want." I was like, "No fucking way!" So I got I sort of knew who this dude Klaus Grobke was, Santa Cruz skateboarder who was a German guy, because I seen him in magazines, and I was like, we just lived in Germany and love to support that dude, So all the boards on the wall, I pick out this like melting clocks, like MC Escher, Klaus Grobke board, and then brand new gull wings and brand new OG two wheels.
So you got a brand new complete.
So I got a brand new complete.
Yeah. No, the first like real complete.
That was my first real complete.
Because you're getting just hand-me-downs this whole time, right?
Yep.
And just scrapping shit together, basically.
Literally. And I think I only had that first board, and I wore it down to like nothing. So having something brand new was like, holy shit! As a little kid, like, I hadn't even turned 16 yet. I think I was 15, and got a brand new complete from my pops. It was like one of the nicer things he probably ever did for me, you know. Uh, and I skated that for that 6 months that I was there, and there was a kid that I skated with a bunch that talked me into trading boards with him, just the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And so mine was getting a little bit worn out, and I traded him for a Caballero, Steve Caballero, and because I always liked that graphic too.
So
it
was Blue Dragon.
Yep, the dragon. So got my first Powell board from him, and it was a Bonite board, and Bonite was this like wafer veneer that they put in the board that was supposed to kind of like what they're doing now by making their flight decks. It was supposed to be indestructible, but when it got wet, it swelled up and it delaminated. So that cab didn't make it very long. And then we moved from Virginia, and honestly, there all I was doing was kind of the same thing, like parking blocks down little concrete stairs or structures or whatever, and we're like stacking parking blocks up, and then pretty much doing kick flips and flappies and stuff on stuff and wall rides. And then when we moved back to Colorado, that's when I started high school, 10th grade, and yeah, those guys had a couple of older guys that were a year ahead of me in 11th grade, and I was in 10th grade, and they were a little team, a little group of homies. They called themselves Team Grunk, and there was a local shop in the Chapel Hills Mall, BC Surf and Sport, which I know they still have like some BCs up here, managed by and owned by this guy Rob Miller, and they worked for Rob, and they were in high school, and so they were like those guys you looked up to because they had the coolest shirts and fucking whatever. But most of those guys were really good skateboarders, and so those were my kind of first friends that I had in Colorado. And then met a buddy named Jerry, and then my other buddy Pablo, and we kind of street skated more or less together because we were all military brats ourselves, and those guys weren't. And so maybe all the 10th grade I just skated with Jerry and Pablo.
What school did you go to?
Mitchell High School in the Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of the Springs like?
It's kind of on the east side of town, over
By the forest?
Yeah, by the Citadel Mall area.
Okay.
And we had at the time, the mall was a cool thing. That's where the shops were, and
so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun.
Mall culture was awesome.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I missed so much, but you'd always like, oh, after a while, you're like, dude, mall's lame.
Yep.
And then, but you're like, dude, mall was so sick compared to now.
I mean, back in the day, people would cruise up and down Nevada Avenue in their cars, bumping music, like the top down, and looking for, girls, and the girls were looking for guys, and it was just like crazy. You'd pull over, say what's up, or somebody would get into a fight or whatever, and it was just the weirdest thing back in the day to cruise the strip, And then it was the same thing at the mall. People would go to the mall just to walk up and down the hallways,
Yeah.
And they'd go into a store, they'd look at stuff, they'd maybe buy something, or they'd go to the food court, and people don't do that as much anymore.
No, not at all.
And that's why when you had a skate shop in the mall, you had people that would come by, and if you had these DCs or these Americas or whatever back in the day, that they sold a lot of shoes in the mall to people that maybe liked skateboarding but necessarily didn't skateboard themselves. So it was like, and then the shop that I skated for 20 years. Went out of business in 2016,
What
so
was that?
10 years. They were in the Citadel Mall.
What was it
It
called?
was called North Shore.
Okay.
And in that first, one of the first videos that I had gotten just a little couple clips in from 303 was this video called Out of the Blue. And in that video, it was a collaboration between North Shore and 303. So when you watch the beginning of the video, there's like a North Shore sticker that comes up.
Oh, okay. I was kind of
And
always wondering about that. I didn't
yeah,
know ever what the context
yeah, and
was
it
of
was
that.
kind of the owner didn't necessarily surf, and obviously we ain't got no surf here, but he was just thinking it was along the lines of what BC Surf and Sport did, and
Hmm.
so he named his shop kind of something like a surf brand, like North Shore Hawaii,
Uh-huh.
and so everyone was like, "What the fuck does North Shore have to do with like skateboarding in the
Or
Springs?"
Colorado, right?
Yeah, in Colorado,
Yeah.
no shore. So
Yeah.
he later he started a clothing brand called Hoyle, which was his last name,
Hmm.
and went on a couple of skate trips with him to kind of promote the clothing brand. But he ended up rebranding the store and calling it Hoyle. Um, Probably 5 years before he went out of business. But he had a few videos out there that were Hoyle promo videos or
So
whatever.
what's the
And
what's is there a shop down there now? Is it,
there's a shop that's like a core skate shop called Promise Skate Supply, and they're on Colorado and like Sixth Street, and they pretty much have all the good skateboards that you would want, like Jacuzzi and Creature and Powell, Ritual Skateboards, which is my homie Ryan Heyer. In the Springs, he has a brand that he basically the owner of a granite company who's also a skateboarder my age. He started that brand called Ritual Skateboards and then just kind of let it kind of go stagnant. And Ryan really liked it and the idea of it. And he asked him if he could redo it. And he was like, sure, I'll give you the rights, I think. And so he started Ritual back up and he's on his fourth video now. And I've got two clips in there, maybe
sick?
50-50 in a 12 stair round rail at 50 years old,
That's crazy.
which is like, thank God I built a skate park in my backyard and built a round rail in my backyard because I was able to warm up on that a bunch and like 50 it like 10 times in a row and then just go right to the spot and 50, yeah, a 12 stair rail. And so he got a good clip from like the ground level with his VX. And I did it a couple weeks before that with a homie with just the iPhone clip. And he's like, dude, we got to go back. You got to do it again. And I wanted to because the first one time I did it, I kind of like had some crazy arms, and I just felt rushed because the first attempt, I get on and went right to double heels, and it slipped out, and I pretty much almost ate shit, and luckily landed on my feet, got up, and this lady came out and was like, "You can't skateboard here." And I was like, "Come on, I'm so old. I need this." And she's like, "No, I'm calling the cops." And I'm like, "Ugh, by the time the cops get here, I'm already have this done. So I'm gonna give it a few more tries." And she went in to call the cops, and within like 30 seconds, I tried three more times and landed it
Sick.
pretty good, but kind of got the wavy arms. And then I was like, man, I really want to go back and refilm it. I honestly want to Smith grind it, but I don't know. I'm 50. So I did it in two tries. The first try landed at the bottom of the stairs, almost like cross-legged, and was like, holy shit, I didn't break my ankle. And then was like, okay, slow down a little bit and pop up and get onto it. Don't just like try to gap out. And did it so good. So Ryan got the clip of that, and then found like some ledge to board slide. And I think I've got a few clips in that, and I've had one little clip in the other three. So it's cool. Every once in a while, I'll go out and film stuff, but I don't really care about it
Yeah.
as much. I usually just film stuff with my phone for a story or something,
Yeah.
put a little edit together. But to go back, so yeah, skating in skated in Virginia, then moved to back to the Springs and grew up with the high school friends skating. And then, of course, you just branch out. You take the bus to spots, or you get somebody to take you somewhere. And me and Jerry and Pablo heard that there was a ramp downtown that was like 30 feet wide and had like an extension on it, and took the bus all the way downtown. We knew exactly what road it was on. We just didn't know the house number. So we walked up Wood Avenue and we found our buddy Josh Wildman's ramp. And of course, there's like this local like homie Mark Hubert, who was one of the first dudes that we looked up to. He was already really good at 16 years old. Him and this other guy, Creature, Chris Myers, who's a buddy of mine. He lives up in Oregon now. Skating that backyard ramp, and they were so fucking good. And we're just like, whoa, look, we found it. And they're like, you guys want to skate? And we're like, hell yeah. So got to skate Josh's ramp and got to a couple new friends, you know. And then from there, this was 90. So, and then I graduated in 91. So my senior year, of course, we started making more trips down to downtown Springs, and we had a little area called Acacia Park, which is like our EMB, 100 foot by 100 foot of perfectly smooth concrete that they would set chairs up for outdoor music events. Had like a band shell in the back that made the acoustics all nice, and then it had a big 4 block that came off of it.
I was watching, like I said, I was lurking on some of your socials, and I saw a little, like a little compilation of you guys skating that park. And dude, this it had to have been about that time, and
94. Yep.
yeah, the tricks that you guys were doing, they were so good. And like your crew was ripping, dude. They were kicking serious ass, bro. Like backside flipping
That big force there.
that big force
Yep.
there, and just had the ledges on the edge. You guys were doing like
Switch
5-0,
tail slides and switch
tail
50
slide.
180 out. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that is fucking amazing.
Yep. And
I was
so
like blown away because that was so long ago, and it looked like this. It looked like if you guys were in California at that era, you guys could have been just as good as those dudes that were out there that were your contemporaries
literally
at that time.
at that time it was big pants, little wheels, and
Y'all
we were all
looked so
looking up
good.
to like
Y'all looked
Rick
really good.
Howard and Mike Carroll, and a few of my friends had moved to San Francisco and skated with some of those guys, and then they realized the streets are kind of rough, you know, and they'd come back, but they came back even better than they were before they left. And so my first time I had seen Acacia Park and like seen a demo there with like Ron Allen and Hensley, and it was the H Street demo, and we were just like blown away at how good like pros were. And that's what the rest of us aspired to. But then as I had graduated and gravitated towards downtown, of course, they just find a place to rent, you know, live with somebody, pay them a portion to live in one of the rooms, you know, and I think my rent was like $75. But I also lived out on like the balcony of this like little house on Wasatch. So, but I would skate every day from the up by Colorado College down to wherever I worked at, restaurant or whatever, and cruise through Acacia Park. And then,
Is that park still there?
yep. But they took out the concrete pad where we used to play skate, and would bring in obstacles all the time to ollie over. Regular size Colorado picnic bench, not like the little fiberglass ones that the Californians have the luxury of skating, you know.
Mhm.
These little guys, you know.
Yeah.
We had full size man picnic benches, and when you saw somebody ollie up on one of those or ollie over one, just like holy shit, like dudes can fucking ollie that high off the ground. It's crazy.
Super crazy.
But yeah, they took out all of the concrete, and then instead of having the 4 block on the front and then the ledges on the side, they rounded it and then had it tear down, and it's all brick, and there was no bottom stair. And it's like, so you can still push from the back of the band shell and ollie over the first brick and down it. And there's actually a picture in this this Thrasher that I brought with me of somebody skating the Acacia Park band shell. So
Mhm.
actually, I'll just
Is
show
this
you
a
real
recent
quick.
contemporary?
Yeah, this was the Joslin.
Oh, it's in the, dang, that was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, a couple months ago, and
4 months ago.
my good friend Atiba Jefferson shot that cover photo. And so I really wanted it because that's a legendary 360 flip of Joslin at El Toro. But then there's also an article in here um, of Atiba coming home, and he brought the Vans crew with him, and they skated all the stuff that he liked skating growing up here. So he took them all through. And I haven't looked at this one that many times, so I'm sorry. Ah, here it is. And so it says the these hills of Hollywood, but this is Memorial Skate Park, and that's Pikes Peak in the background. Such a good Atiba photo, and that's Curran Caples doing. That's in Manitou. Crazy wooden rail, crazy bank in Manitou, uh, and then
Acacia Park
yeah,
right here.
these I call these the canary rails because these are like low income houses,
Uh-huh.
like townhomes or whatever apartments, and Curran Caples, Smith grinding that. But that's the Acacia Park stage and what it has turned into
Yeah, it
nowadays.
looks totally different.
Totally different. And all of this is grass down here now, so it's kind of a
Oh, you can see the difference in this black and white photo. I don't know if you can see it,
yeah.
but
And this is actually Andrew Reynolds fakey flipping it
uh-huh.
in
Reason?
yeah 2000 and no 96. And
96.
actually,
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
one of the
dang,
guys
that's super
standing
old.
up in the background.
Oh, you got the BGPs, huh?
Yeah, I got the background props,
Let's go.
and me and the other guys, because right before that we were skating our buddy Rob Miller's
And how
mini
perfect is
ramp.
that spot, bro?
Yep, and
That's
that's like
amazing.
a super famous photo of Reynolds when he was probably just a real young dude coming from Florida out to
Right.
California before Tony Hawk just sponsored him for Birdhouse,
That's so sick.
and a TV shot a photo of him fakey flipping the old Acacia Park
That's
stage.
awesome, dude.
Yep. So this one, I went and bought this because I really wanted to see the liquor store. They probably stopped at with some crazy bump, you know. And then
Somehow
this is
blasting.
yeah,
Somehow.
blasting a kickflip over it. So yeah, I just brought a few of these to for memory.
Yeah, that's dope.
But so kind of skating Acacia Park and living downtown, and then decided to move to Florida to see my mom, who I hadn't seen in over a decade. And I was also kind of like
What part of Florida?
Orlando,
Oh, okay.
so I needed a little bit of a scared, not a scared straight, but like a just a detox
Oh, okay.
from my from myself. I wouldn't even say it was my friends. I chose to do the things I did, but it was like not skating probably as good or as much as I was in like '93. Moved to Florida and like I'm not smoking no more. I'm not drinking. Even though I turned 21 down there, and then met a couple dudes that ended up becoming my roommates, and ended up skating with those guys like every single day, and then was like, "Fuck, Florida's rad. You can skate all the time, like year round."
A lot of rain.
It
Hot as shit.
it does rain, and then it's like it doesn't dry out forever, and then it's so fucking hot in Orlando because you're kind of inland that I would just be sweating to death. And the only thing I would wear is like a white t-shirt because anything else that was nice, I would just fucking ruin it, like asphalt slides. But I got to go to Tampa Skate Park for the first skate park of Tampa contest.
The first
The
contest?
first contest,
Wow.
which was kind of a trip that my friend James was like, "Hey,
Was that the pro or the AM
that was
contest?
the AM one,"
Uh-huh.
and so
But you didn't skate in that contest?
I literally tried to qualify,
Uh-huh.
but kind of choked, you know, and
Yeah.
it was the first one,
That's so
and I had
sick.
skated it a couple of weeks before that with my buddy James, and was like, we just had like a roll in.
How did you find out about the tournament? Or the tournament, Jesus.
James said, "You know that park that we've been skating, we've been going down to because they had a vert ramp in there."
Uh-huh.
And Mike Frazier would skate in there, and this other dude, Toss Pappas,
Uh-huh.
who's like pro vert skaters.
Uh-huh.
We would go down there and just have our minds blown by
That's
those dudes.
Mike Frazier was like on Globe back in the day, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And we're like, so sick just to go down there and like skate the park, pretend to skate the vert ramp because James was a really good transition skater, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll throw some knee pads on, tighten my trucks up," and then he's like, "They're having a contest here. You should come back, like an AM contest." And I literally tried to qualify with like I don't think it was as big as it is now. It wasn't like there was 250 people there, but there was probably more than 50. And I
Mhm.
think the top 20 got to compete in the finals. And yep, didn't make it to the finals, but definitely got to at least try.
That's sick.
45-second run, and
That's
I'm like,
pretty amazing though.
but that was honestly the first. That was the first contest I think I ever decided I wanted to enter
Uh-huh.
and compete against other people because I hadn't. I'd done Warp Tour here in Denver and Boulder, and I was like not nearly as nervous because I had done that first one at skate park at Tampa, and then I had about enough of the heat and the bugs and the
Dude,
crime
the bugs are
of
the worst.
Florida.
That's like the worst part about
Yeah,
Florida.
I mean, you even if you spray, you still come out in the middle of the night to open the refrigerator up and little fucking bugs scurrying everywhere. You're like, ugh,
Yeah,
it
like
just
forget about like walking through grass.
yeah,
You're just gonna
chiggers and
fleas
silverfish
and
and fleas and
stupid
anything
shit.
above your freaking socks, you're getting bit.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And so I had enough of the bugs and the mugginess of Orlando, and I hadn't really visited Tampa, which Tampa's dope. I
I
like
like
going.
Tampa a lot too.
I love going back there. So I'm just like my father-in-law lives there in Cape Coral, and then my wife's aunt does. So we're just like cruise to Cape Coral, and then we'll go out to St. Pete Skate Park, which is one of
St.
my
Pete's fun.
favorite skate parks. I love that park.
Yeah, and Bradenton.
And Bradenton, oh my God, under the bridge.
Yeah, under the bridge.
Yeah,
Sarasota original Payne Park. Did you ever go there?
Yep.
Dude, that park is
yeah,
awesome.
her uncle lives down by Sarasota, so we went to Naples and walked the beach out to this pink hotel, which was like 5 fucking miles away. It looked like it was so close. We ended up walking out. Like, if we get to the pink hotel, we can end there. So we literally went for a long walk on the beach for my honeymoon. But then we tried to skate the Naples Park, and it was like BMX day, even though there was no BMX riders riding. They still wouldn't let us go in. So
Wild.
no Naples, but we did go to Sarasota, and I crooked grinded this like bump to marble ledge that's on the old park, and in the front of it, it has a 2003 stamped into it. And I was like, damn, this ledge is as old as my son. It's crazy. And then they built like they had the old like flow kind of bull park around the side with like a deep capsule.
Dude, the park is massive.
It's massive.
It's so rad.
So what got me to 50-50 that handrail at 50 years old was the Bradenton skate park, because they have that vert wall that you can get up on the roof and drop in on like 4 or 6 feet of vert into the transition at the kind of the end of the skate park that's not under the bridge. And then you can roll up onto like this long quarter pipe, and there's a handrail that goes down a bank.
Right.
And I 50-50 that. And first attempt, literally double heels, flip out, slam, second try, landed perfect. I'd board slid it a few times, you know. And so when we get back, I told my wife I found that rail in the Springs. And she was like, "Oh, you 50'd that thing in Bradenton. That's no big deal." And I'm like, "That was the skate park rail."
Your wife just glazing you up.
Yeah, she's just like,
trying to
"Oh,
pump you up."
you could do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right." And I did. I did it twice, but I was just like, still like, that's a skate park rail. This is like totally different. And that Sarasota park had like 2 rails in a row that you could like did like a Smith grind down and like a front board on the second one, and was like, all right, I'm getting my skate legs back underneath me, you know. But went to Florida, had enough of that in '93, and while I'm down there, I see that Atiba had done an article in Transworld Skateboarding with Colorado Springs, and I was just like, holy shit, that's all the guys I used to skate at Acacia Park with. Those are all my friends. And of course, my friends in Florida are like, yeah, right, you're bullshitting. And I'm like, no, that's literally like, that's my friend Travis, like kickflipping off of this giant bump we used to call the Cascade bump. And my buddy Brian ollieing over the end of a car off of this bump. It's like a double-sized curb cut, you know, with about a 5-foot gap between the 2 bumps. And it was just like, it was a skate park bump. It was so perfect. And so I was jonesing to come back to Colorado with that, and I had gotten a ticket from a cop. The first time was basically a warning. Second time was an arrest. Third time was an arrest for skateboarding in downtown Orlando.
Dang.
So I was like, cool, go to jail for skateboarding, and then I have to go to court, see a judge, and get my board back, pay a fine. It's so fucking stupid. So, and I'm a street skater, so I'm not gonna just go to the Badlands skate park in Orlando and try
Yeah.
to skate that every day and pay $15 for 2 hours, you know. So I had enough of not being able to street skate, and then moved back to the Springs, and then that video that you saw of '94 of us skating at Acacia Park. Actually, I don't have any clips in that, but it's my friend Jimmy, my friend Danny, my friend Joey just had a montage, and it was so freaking good. The music's super good, and like even the bricks like roll really good, and but uh handrails that come off of the old Acacia Park were perfect height and kind of mellow. And our buddy Mark Hubert board slid it for an ad for Naked skateboards back in the day, which was like an uncut board you could buy. It was basically just press, and then you put your shape on it. Try to get it on there straight, and then you would cut it out and drill the holes, and bing bada boom, you got a $20 deck that you made. Well, he skated for that brand, and he had board slid the rail, and so as years progressed, people are now 50ing it and lip sliding it and 5-0ing it and whatnot. And I tried front nose sliding it a few times and front board sliding it and landed those, and one of the ones just kind of ever so slightly went into frontside crooked grind, and I popped out and rode away and was like, holy, I don't know how, because my toes like on the tip of it, but yeah, Atiba shot a photo of that, and that got this was like my dog kind of nibbled on this,
It
but
was like, oh, that
I
looks tasty.
I found this May '93 slap.
Dude, look at that. Look at that. Look at this magazine, dude. This
Yeah.
is like not even laminated. This is like a newspaper.
It's a
This
newspaper.
is the straight up like zine.
Yeah.
A
It's
gigantic
a big
zine.
fucking zine.
It's a
Yeah,
giant
holy-
zine, bro.
That's funny because I have some of those with me too.
Heck yeah. All right,
And-
why don't you show me what
And
you want me to
so,
see?
and that's Acacia Park right there, right in the fucking front. And
Oh, you got the front. This is you,
no,
right?
no.
That's
This
not you.
is this is
just
actually my buddy that makes those boards, Travis McLaughlin,
okay.
and he skated for Ron Allen's company, Huff Skateboards.
Okay.
And I remember this Wonder Bread board because he always had like
That's
10
dope.
of them.
That's
He
a
was always
dope
selling his
graphic.
homies a board, but I can't see what he's doing in the sequence, but I think it's like a 180 over
185
to 50
Uh-huh.
and then pop out straight
That's-
on the bottom stair of Acacia Park
That's so sick.
on those ledges we were just talking
Yeah,
about.
That's great.
But Atiba,
And I just like put Eric Pupecki's picture
Yeah,
in
and
there
then
for no
Pupecki's
reason.
picture right
just
there,
for no
so-
reason.
I found I talked to Atiba about this because I was like, I know you sent photos in to get published, and they listed his name in there, but they really didn't give anybody else's name.
Mhm.
Like my name's not in it, and Danny Barone's name's not in it. But he goes, yeah, it's an illustrated one. It's May '03. So I got this from a dude on Instagram called Look Back Library.
Oh yeah, I
and
follow him too.
yeah, he's so sick. And
Yeah.
met him when he came to the Springs to check out a guy and all of his like all the
Oh, his-
skateboard mags
his
and
collection.
all the Trans World that he had, and so he made him a vendor or dealer or whatever. But
Mhm.
this one,
He just gave this to you.
so this was the contributors, and these were people that sent in photos to get them published in magazines.
Uh-huh.
And Atiba's name is
Right there.
right there as one of the contributors.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the frontside
Oh.
accidental crooked grind down the Acacia Park handrail.
Because you got those little baby wheels.
Baby wheels and big fucking
Can you
pants.
see this? Squilly? Like getting in focus at all? Here.
And Atiba's motto is like, I'll never publish something that someone didn't land. So
Uh-huh.
even if like he's taking one and it looks cool, as
Uh-huh.
long as you land what you're trying to do, one of those is gonna get put in there. But that was definitely an accident. But that was so funny that. And then there's a couple more in here. There's my friend Danny Barone. He had a board for BC Surf and Sport,
Uh-huh.
that looked just like a Denver Nuggets logo, but
Uh-huh.
instead of a DN,
Uh-huh.
it had a DB,
Uh-huh.
and he was so basically he had a board for BC
That's sick.
doing a front side blunt slide on one of the curbs out there, and he's got the cool bowl haircut, and then that's him doing like a backside flip down the Acacia Park stairs as well. So Tiba's first published photo
Let's
is
go.
a slap.
It's you, bro.
As me and the homies, and then this is
Dang.
obviously one of the later ones, and then this one here is from 1995, and it's that cover. Oh, what the heck? I know his name. I'm gonna have to look it up, but
And this is booty too. It's like stapled together.
yeah,
That's crazy.
this one,
This slap is amazing though.
Slap Magazine, like rest in peace.
Real. Big Brother was always my favorite though.
Yeah. So this was one that Atiba did. It was a Denver article.
Skyline.
Yeah, and there's Skyline Park, which I love that you guys were talking about. You skate, Civic Center all the way down 16th Street, and what do you end up at?
Yeah.
Skyline, and that was a skate park, and so
yeah, I think they tore it down right when I first started skating, so I never ever got to skate it.
This was my first trip up to Denver with these guys, and we actually started at Cheeseman Park. And
Cheeseman's so fun.
And so fun, so smooth on the inside.
That's
all
my
those
favorite. Maybe my
the
favorite
pillars
spot.
make it so sick, and then the stairs out of it.
Yeah.
And then there's like a double set, and so
the grass gaps and bench gaps.
I have my first sponsor me video, and it was like heel flip the grass cap,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was one where I actually pumped one of the grass gaps because you could just ride down the dirt, and then ollie a double set and then land and run into the grass. And so we started at Cheeseman, and as we ended up the day, we ended up getting down to Skyline, and my friend Brett backside went a bunch of skateboards there. One of the old fountains that you could like skate when it was drained out in the winter.
That was a Civic.
Yep.
Yeah, the seals in the fountain.
Yep. And then the most micro bump to do these two things off of, but it was like a bump and you could go over boards or a cone or whatever. This was, I think,
that was the history museum.
Natural History Museum when they drained.
It wasn't. It was a different museum. It was like on right on Colfax. They turned it into the stupid fucking Justice Complex. That gigantic. They turned it's like right across, just south of the Capitol building.
Rad.
And they tore it down and they replaced it with the damn gigantic Justice Complex. Like there's what's going on in there. But that was a sick spot.
That was a sick spot. And then my good buddy who owned Crisis Skate Shop up here in, was it Lafayette? Broomfield? Broomfield. I never actually went into the shop when he owned it, but he's a really good photographer these days, and
he's like doing like train photography.
He's doing train photography, and he has a book. And Acacia Park local homie that was just
he's from the Springs too.
Yep, he's from the Springs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Military dad who's from Hawaii, so they always call him like Hawaii 5-0.
Oh, okay.
Or 5. That's how we kind of got the 5-0 name.
Okay, I never heard him
or Fuzz.
Yeah, I know Fuzz, but
because
5-0 Fuzz. Okay, that makes sense now.
So it's kind of a circle.
I see. That all makes sense.
And this is the homie Travis that owns Point Distribution, and then
that's a gnarly photo.
And he's standing in the background, and Atiba shot this from the corner like he always does, real low, and I landed a kickflip down the 9 stair at Skyline, which was kind of
this is you here.
Yep. So
just getting all of the
history,
the footage, the public,
right? Sorry, I had to bring some. I had to bring some visual material for all my bullshit. So that
picture is so sick.
So thick. Just before it's hitting my feet.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not
going
to lie.
That board has no pop at all.
No pop.
That's crazy.
That was a I wasn't even getting flow from any brands at that point. That was just
Just for
whatever I
fun.
got from the
Just for
shop.
fun,
Probably
huh?
probably a real board. So yeah, that was the Denver article in Trans World, and then so I was like kind of one, two. This one's from 1998, and it's got Daywan, the best skateboarder, on the cover. Kickflip nose blunt slide down one of the little kiddie benches, and this part in particular was Akko and Atiba were home visiting their mom in Manitou, and uh, Jeremy 50 found this rail at CC and took me there to skate it with him, and I ended up actually landing it and riding it away, and got a video clip in one of the Transworld videos. I can't remember, and then yeah, but there's that one. Did a TV shot and like trip back to see mom for Christmas. So of course the beanie and the beanie and the sweatshirt, and it was kind of a flat, and then it turned a little bit to the left, and then it turned a lot bit to the left. So it was like 3 kink, and then a little pipe cap on the end, and so lucky I didn't die on that one. And then this one was another really good friend, photographer that I grew up in the Springs with, Keith Lazinski. He's a photographer.
Oh, look, hold. It's
Yeah.
Jared.
And there's Jared Saba.
Let's go, Jared Saba right here.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jared if you ever see
On
this,
the most
bro.
famous ledge in Denver ever.
The steeziest dude.
Yeah, so look through that one. And
I think I had this. I think I had this magazine.
so Keith's a nature photographer, so that's why they got all these kind of landscape photos of
And
maroon bells.
those Reynolds ones are so good.
Yep. This is a school called Chipeta in the Springs, and I pretty much just ollied over that thing and board slid it, and our friend Nelson 50'd it pretty gnarly.
Micah and
Yep.
Ryan Millard.
There's Brian Millard, the 303 video filmer at Golden High School.
Oh, Golden High School was so fun
Yep.
too.
And then that's me doing a lean air at the Briargate skate park with Pikes Peak in the background. And I did like a bunch of frontside grabs. And then
I did have
good
this. I
melon
did have
over the
this
hip.
magazine.
There's Jeremy 50 again.
And Micah.
And Micah Hollinger, who's
And
a
then,
legend. Another photo of Jared.
And Jared again.
That's a very famous double set in Denver.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
used to do
still
trips
don't
on.
know where that. I've never seen that in
Look
real
at
life.
look at this ninja pose of Ryan like squatting out, and then that's my good buddy that was doing that front blunt in that slap.
Uh-huh.
Danny Barone with the bowl haircut. He got a little bigger and
That's so
curvy
sick.
ledge.
Sheila,
There's our homie Shad Spencer.
Shad. Let's go, Shad and Travis.
Yep, and Travis Loft. That's one of my favorite little rail to drop is this blue bar. I Smith grinded
That's
that
just down the street.
just down the street. Yep.
Mhm. Micah. the
Another
switch
Micah photo.
No, it's a front board. That's awesome, dude.
Yep. So
I definitely remember this.
this
this
Trans World
this
here.
Trans World, yeah.
And then
I remember being super stoked seeing everyone as a kid.
and
That's awesome.
then I'll just dabble on these.
You want to show that off? I'm gonna scoot up for a second.
The zines. Thank you for coming today. And do you video all of these?
Yeah.
Sick.
I'm always back here behind the camera.
I'm the cameraman.
Thank you for coming.
I had some questions too, because I was like,
Be a mat stand in here. I'll hit my vape and then like pretend like I'm hitting it off screen. It's never actually off screen.
nope.
You didn't see anything.
And it's still recording, it's still live.
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay, cool. I'm all just like these are pretty much just photos that other friends took, but never really, in a magazine, but stuff I liked. Ollie over a little kid, a demo that we did, pushing these launch ramps like as far apart as we could. And I got to meet Kind Lu, this dude named Donger back in the day, and he was just like, that was crazy. I can't believe you ollied from one ramp to the other. There's a classic Atiba photo of him crouching down, and we were ollieing off of this wall over the car in the background. And then this is actually our first skate park that we had built in the Springs after Acacia Park pretty much got taken out, called Goose Gothage, and it honestly has a huge following by a bunch of skaters. Everyone skates there on Thursdays. The Goose Thursday kind of meetup. So
Yeah.
young and old dudes still skate at this park, but that was the first park that they built for us in the Springs, and it's a piece of shit, but it's fun. It's got a little bit of classic history. I was saying this was another Atiba photo of just ollieing over my buddy Joey, who was in that.
That's sick.
that
And you
Acacia
got
Park
the
video.
actual original prints or these
Yep.
copies?
These are just copies. Big pants, little wheels, some Denver little rail attached to the side of a wall. I guess the rollerblade.
These are all Atiba photos?
These are either Keith or Atiba or my friend Shad. And then this was that was up in Fort Collins. I see this building and I see that rail, but now there's a gas station right there,
Uh-huh.
and you can't really ollie over that rail anymore. But that's that rail at DU that my friend Shad took the photos of, and then somebody else filmed. Oh, Ryan Millard filmed the video of it, and so that was in one of the 303 little edits there. This round or red rail, square red rail, and then yeah, just some other shit. Staircase at UCCS. It's got a rail down this. I guess Kyle Egan front feebled the rail that goes down that 13th
Oh, okay.
stair.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that dude's really good. Freaking amazing.
He's super good.
Super good. There's another photo without my feet like right on it, and Travis actually filming right there.
Sick.
So kind of just a
This is Boulder, right?
duplicate. Yep, and that's Boulder. Double set, and then some old snowboard photos. The homie Shad sitting underneath me, like, I don't know. It was funny. I didn't even know he was underneath there, but that's some Pikes Peak stuff. This is a piece of history. That's the first zine that Atiba ever made,
Wow.
called The Bakery.
You got
And
some,
that
this
was
is just
before
all
he
Colorado.
even sent those photos to Slap.
That's crazy. This
It
is
was
all
just
just Colorado Springs stuff.
All the Colorado Springs stuff.
That's
And when he was just
sick.
like learn how to use the camera and how to develop stuff, and then make little edits.
Didn't know how to staple the zine together.
Nope. Not even, who knows what
Like,
that
yeah,
is.
check
Like
out
a
this.
Ghost,
Check out this.
ghost all the way down the
Check
stage.
out this. He's like, yeah, let's go and get the centerfold. What is that picture?
We literally called the front of the Acacia Park stairs the stage.
Uh,
That's what it was, essentially. I showed this to
top 5 Atiba. These are just albums or
albums. Yep.
Jawbreakers.
I sent this to Akko. Like, look what I found. I found Ativa's first zine. He's like, no freaking way, dude. Gonna make copies of that and send it to me.
Did you?
I sent him all the photos.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can print it out if you want.
Wow, that's amazing. And you just held on to it for this whole time, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. Good on you doing that.
Yeah, hold on to old crap. And then this was my friend Shad's little zine that he did, and yeah, it's just more skate history from the Springs, ollieing over a rail. No way, Mike Ambrose ollieing over a rail. This crazy thing is still skatable. It's like a gap out to. They put like good bricks on the top of it, and then these are really chunky ones. But
I've seen that in a lot of things.
Justin Shardy, like, fucked that thing up a few times.
Mhm.
And so did Mike Gilbert. Mike Gilbert was a filmer for.
Yeah, Gilbert was sick.
Yeah, sick. And he's a good skateboarder too.
He was really good.
Jeremy ollieing over the chain into the Broadmoor ditch, which is gnarly. And then this is Rob Miller's mini ramp from back in the day. And dude, Jeremy was such a good transition skater, but big ass melon to fakie. So That's the Broadmoor ditch. It's kind of like the wallows,
The wallows, bro.
wallows of the springs.
Yeah.
So that's a really honestly famous spot. People go down there and they want to skate it, and they find out that it's really freaking rough. Warp Tour. So dabbled a little bit in, like, would go to Boulder and qualify for the Warp Tour contest, and then I did maybe 3 years of them. So got a third place and a second place, and then I won the one at Boulder.
Sick.
And those were pretty fun.
Oh, it says Lady Slambros said Mabel is so stoked to see her daddy on the TV.
That's my daughter. So got remarried, and my wife really wanted to have a baby, and she'd not had any children yet, and so we made it happen with a IVF baby. And I had gotten snipped after my son was born. He's 22 now, from my ex, and I was like, I'm not having any more kids. I'm not getting married again. You know, it's fucking rough getting divorced and whatnot. So, just met my wife Veronica, and she's the best. And as
how did you guys meet?
At work, we worked at a granite company. I was a granite countertop installer, and she's one of the project managers. So I had to call her.
Are you still doing that?
Nope. I'm basically doing maintenance for a company called Argonaut Property Solutions. So I change light bulbs. I do drywall. I
just
mitigate crawl spaces. Yeah, I do general repairs, and then remodel bathroom, take a tub out, put a new tub in. So it's kind of a handyman, but also kind of a construction worker. So, but Veronica and I wanted to have a child, and she did her part with hormones and whatnot, and then I went in and kind of had a little
slurp,
pull it out, and then they made an embryo, and then they put the embryo in at the right time, and I watched her be impregnated via like a monitor and a needle come in. I was like, holy shit, she's pregnant, yay! So it was pretty crazy. And then she went full term and came out perfect, and she had our daughter with no pain meds, no epidural.
Wow.
She just did it au natural.
Jeez.
The gnarliest thing I've ever seen. And yeah, women are so strong and amazing. That was because my son was born C-section, and it was just like an emergency, and all of a sudden, boom, he comes out. And of course, we're at the hospital, and so I didn't really see a whole lot, enough to kind of make me a little bit queasy. But Mabel is 17 months old, going on 18 months old, almost a year and a half. And we just
What's up, Mabel?
Hi, Mabel.
What up, little one?
We got her a little attachment for my mountain bike that kind of sits on the top tube and goes over the sides, and her feet fit in these little stirrups. Little stirrups keep her feet from coming out. I got to adjust it a little bit more, and then a little set of handlebars that mount on the top of your handlebars, and you can pivot them forward or back, and then tighten up the Allen screws, and they can just sit there and cruise down the trail with you.
Yeah, that's always,
obviously can't do anything too gnarly, but
that's always such a good memory, even now as an adult, like just riding on the back of Pop's bike and just sitting there and just bobbling around, just like cooking in the sun, like taking a nap in the bike.
That's I had a little bobby trailer for my son, and literally he would fall asleep as soon as he'd get in that, and like the vibration would just like put him to sleep. But then I'm like, oh yeah, he's getting sunburnt. Like I need to put a little canopy over the top of him. But my friend Casey up in Telluride had one of those for his son, and I was like, dude, what is that? It's called Kids Ride Shotgun, and it's so sick because they literally are kind of in between your legs, so they can't really fall off in your arms either side, and that'll get me back out on the trails riding, and might get my wife riding with us too. So it's fun having a little kid again. And then we just crazy at 53 years old with a freaking 17-month-old. Crazy, but I love her. She's beautiful.
What's she getting into?
Yeah, we collected Easter eggs that Mom hid, that Veronica hid, and she's starting to kind of babble and go making little noises, but she just kind of screams and screeches.
Uh-huh.
But she started walking right before she turned 9 months old. So
Wow.
she's got the balance and the dexterity that mom and dad have.
Uh-huh.
She's just taking a little bit more time to talk, but she's so cute. So that happened, and that's honestly how I found that 12-stair rail. I was coming back from getting my blood checked, and I got a little bit woozy and passed out. I don't like giving blood, and when I was driving home, I was still feeling just kind of like, so I pulled over at this kind of charter school thing just in the parking lot to get out and like get my blood pumping and moving so I wouldn't pass out while I was driving. And I look in the background and I'm like, oh, there's a handrail over there. Of course, skaters being skaters, you know. And I went and looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's why nobody skates this spot, because the ground is really rough. It's like exposed aggregate where it's like pea gravel, you know.
Mhm.
And then the expansion joint right before the first stair where you got to ollie was like 3/4 of an inch by like, yeah, it was really gnarly. But because I've helped build a couple skate parks in the last couple of years, I knew that I could probably get some material, this stuff called Ardex, and fix the ground. So I went there on Memorial Day when they were closed, and I just wore an orange long sleeve and a big boonie hat like I was a construction worker, you know. I didn't quite throw the vest on, but I grabbed a couple cones from the neighborhood from them doing road construction, and they were in the grass. I was like, fuck yeah, 6 cones. Set up some cones, and then I took some bilingual caution tape and put it around there and made it look like a job site, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I totally like quickcreted the ground. So this stuff, Ardex or Henry's Feather Finish, you can buy from Home Depot or Lowe's. It's essentially concrete without the rocks in it.
Oh, okay.
So you take the box, I brought like 1 5-gallon bucket that was empty and one with some water in it, and put a little bit of water in, put the box of Henry's in there, and then got it to the right consistency, and then just throw it on the ground and use a hard trowel
Uh-huh.
and finish it. So I fixed 20-foot run up,
Jeez.
and then I made a little patch on the ground where I thought it would land,
Uh-huh.
and I landed right on it.
Sick.
Perfect. So just put some blue tape and put it around it, and then finished up to the tape, you know, and then peel the tape back up. And my good buddy, I was talking about, Aiden, we went there a couple weeks after I had 50'd it, and he back feebled it.
Mhm.
And his warm up trick was to power ollie off of a picnic bench onto a board slide. Instead of just ollieing to board slide on it, he
Mhm.
did a power ollie off of the edge of the bench and onto it. And I was like, that's the fucking craziest warm up I've ever seen. And then he did a backside board slide on it and landed it. And he's like, should I feeble it? And I'm like, yeah, you should fully feeble that. And then he did it, and I was like, wow, the kid's really good. So he's fun to skate with. But so going back a little bit, Acacia Park got demoed. The city decided they were going to build us our first skate park called Goose Gossage after old professional baseball player, pitcher, Goose Gossage. And the whole sports complex is off of Mark Dabbling in between Fillmore and Garden of the Gods in the Springs. And we kind of sat down with the city and gave them some clay models and some little paper models that we had drawn up, and showed them sort of what we wanted for a bowl. The bowl ended up turning out terrible because it was built by sidewalk contractors,
Oh, great.
not skate park builders.
Nice.
So we get there and they had all the coping kind of set in place, but they never took the template that I've learned. You kind of wire tie your template onto the bottom of the coping.
Mhm.
And then when you go and shotcrete in your concrete, or however you pour your concrete in, you kind of finish up your templates and up to the bottom edge of the coping. And that's how all these great skate parks that we have in Denver and Golden and everything that are built by skateboarders, they turn out so good. These guys, not so much. So our coping sits out in a
Oh
few
my
spots,
god!
like
Like that much?
that much.
That's crazy.
You can't even get onto it.
You can't drop in. You can't do anything.
You can roll in on it and you
Uh.
can drop in on it, but if you're grinding along it and you're staying on it, you can come off of it and back into the transition. But the bowl turned out really bad. They put like a volcano in the middle. It's kind of fun to go up and do like manual tricks on or maybe ollie over the whole thing. But it's honestly, it's rough. It's hard to skate. And then they put in a little manual pad that's like 4 feet by 10 feet, and everybody still skates that. Ryan at Ritual like film shit on it all the time. Pretty amazing stuff. And then they put in a flat bar. It's funny because Shad Spencer had mentioned one day, he's like, "Whoa, you back peopled that thing at your age? That's pretty gnarly because that thing's fucking tall and it's like 20 feet long, but it's just a square rail that's probably 18 inches by 20 feet." And I set my phone up in the corner and proceeded to try to feeble it again, 20 years later. And yeah, that park was built in '96. And then
Oh, you can't complain too much back then. I don't think
there was
there
no
was
skate
no skate
parks.
parks around. And
There was like trying to think of
Arvada, Arvada Park.
Arvada Park, but that was like the old one.
Yeah, maybe the
before they put
original
the new one.
Golden Park.
Yep. But all of them were kind of like they either had like prefab ramps on top of them or they were poorly poured concrete. So they came back, I think, 2 years later, and we got to pour a second ring around Goose, and we added like a bump to bar, so it's like bank tabletop kind of with the bar on top. And I'd skated a bunch of those at Warped Tour, so I was like, we need to build one of these, and that's kind of the design I came up with. And then we put in this like 30-degree angle hip with a ledge on top. It's about 12 inches tall, and that's kind of fun because you can come off the bank, tail slide it, pop back in the bank. You just don't want to fall over the backside because it's like a 4-foot drop to flat. We added in a couple more square feet around the park, and yeah, dudes just literally will stand on the bump to bar to get speed for the hip, or vice versa. They'll stand on this like 4-sided pyramid. It's like 2 banks this way and 1 in the front. So like pitcher's mound, shape, diamond, and they'll stand on this one or this one just to get speed for that hip. And then if someone is trying to skate the bump to bar, everyone just kind of scoots over to the side. So that thing's so old that it's got like ripple dents in it.
Oh, geez.
And it's got a little bit of a banana shape to it.
Bowed.
Kind of bowed, but still intact.
People still skate that park.
And they skate it every Thursday. There's like a little following of guys, the Goose crew.
Okay.
And they've added a few slappy curbs in. And then my friend Nate Garrison and this other dude Coleman Phillips put in a cinder block that they mortared to the ground, and then they put a parking block on top of it, and they put a little bit of like a 30-degree angle on the inside of it. The funnest thing I've ever crooked grinded.
Yeah.
Like being a 52-year-old guy and doing it was just like was a bit of a challenge. I probably tried it 30 times, but finally did it. Good time. That's all you need, and just to grind through it like a kink, and they've like bondoed the joint so good. And I went and painted it red because I was like, I just like red curbs, and that was my contribution to it. Was like, it's just you can lacquer it all you want, but just a little bit of red paint will make that fucking thing go. And you never have to lacquer it again. So. And then they added on another kind of one, but it was just like straight on the ground there. And then those same guys just built a little ledge with a piece of angle iron on it. So it's kind of turning it into a little bit of a DIY. And then
and the city's okay with you doing that?
And the city's okay as long as we bring it by them. Like, hey man, there used to be a chain link fence that was on top of this double-sided curb, and my friend Chris Berry at Phantom Concrete, that's his company now. He and I we built a few skate parks through his company. Panorama Middle School skate park, which is super fun if you ever get a chance. It's like kind of small, but
that's in the Springs too.
Yeah, that's in the Springs, and we built that in 2023.
Okay.
And then we built another like 4,000 square foot flow bowl park down in Fountain, which is essentially it's a part of the Springs, like Arvada would be part of Denver. It's just a suburb.
It just absorbed.
Yeah, it absorbed because they built houses in between all of it.
Right.
But we built the Fountain Mesa skate park, and it's just kind of a nice little flow bowl with like a transition to bank. There's a love seat that challenge to get over and do grinds up on the top of the hard edge,
Mm.
And then I welded a flat rail in there so we could actually call it a skate park. Every skate park needs a flat rail,
Right.
I like welding too. It's super fun. And then we built a little manual pad slash something to sit on or something to put your water bottle on. You get there and there's always somebody like sitting on it or their shits on it, but it's 2 feet wide, 10 feet long, 1 foot tall. So little ledge, something to do ledge tricks on. And then but through Phantom Concrete, when I was working for him, he does a lot of every type of concrete, but he'll lift the house up, pour a new foundation after demoing whatever piece of shit was in there
Mm.
and digging out a crawl space and turning it into a full-on basement and then shotcreting brand new walls in,
Dang, that's crazy.
tying all the rebar, all of that. So I've lifted 3 houses with him and put a house back down onto a new foundation.
That's insane.
It's insane. But he built a bowl in his backyard after he built Memorial Skate Park, probably around, I think he started in 2009 or 2010. And it's a vert bowl. It's got a foot of vert and is 10 foot deep, has a 4.5 foot tall waterfall that goes up into like a 5.5 foot shallow end. But even the shallow end is just shy of vert, so it's all pretty tight. And if you're a man and you like skating vert bowls, Barry's Bowl is the one to skate. The Denver Danglers, those guys come down and skate it and make it look fun, make it look easy. But everybody else is like, holy shit, I back 50'd it and rock and rolled it and in the deep end. And that's about it. I'm not like hand plant guy.
Yeah.
Invert, so I've rolled in on it as well, and that was about it on the deep end. But that was because I was getting razzed by the announcer. We had a contest there, and the announcer Kenny was like, "Oh, you look like you was about to roll in," and I was like, "Well, after watching Adam Marcato roll in on it so fucking easy every time to get speed, I'm like, I'm contemplating it, but I'm scared of slamming, and but I did it, and I was like, holy shit, I rolled into Barry's deep end, like." I like rolling in. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's much better than dropping in if
For
you
sure.
just pop over the pool coping, So his bowl was the first one, and then that gave us. Let me go back a little bit. So first park, Goose. Second park, I helped kind of build models for, and wanted it to be better. Was a park called Briargate Skate Park, and that's on the north end of Springs.
Mhm.
And some seriously good kids have come out of there as well. But that one's got a weird little, kind of a weird little flow to it because it kind of goes towards the mountains, away from the mountains, kind of east and west. And it's got a big quarter pipe on this one side that drops down into like a bowl corner. So a lot of dudes will like 6 foot tall, and the coping just didn't quite get done right. It's almost like they laid back the transition to meet the coping because we knew how bad that Gooses turned out. That they still sidewalk guys. It wasn't skate park builders. They built another like pyramid that had like a bank here, and a hip in the front, and then a ledge on the back that's about knee height, so you can pop off the bank and grind the center of it, and then grind out off of the ends of it and drop to flat. So basically, 4 feet to flat with like a 4 foot drop on the backside. And then on the opposite end, on the west side, it's got 2 quarter pipes with like a bank in the middle, and that one of those photos that I showed you where I was doing the lean air over the hip with Pikes Peak in the background, that's at that skate park.
Okay.
And then it's got a couple of, we built a really like a handrail like you'd see in the streets that's hip high, goes down 12, 14 stairs. And then there's one where we built kind of a Euro gap, little step up, about 2 feet tall and out about 4 feet. And we put a rail right in the middle of it so you can kind of go up it and down it. And after building that rail and having the city, whatever, build that rail, when we built Panorama, I had an idea of one of the banks we have goes up maybe 3 feet tall, probably 7 foot of riding surface, and then it goes out flat. I had an idea that I wanted to build something kind of like that, but put a post at the bottom, one in the middle, and one at the top, so that when you come off of the bank, you can slide the last part of the rail up
Oh, okay.
and slide. And so it's so fun to like front board 180 out because you actually kind of like
Launch a
catch
little bit.
air and launch it. And so launch off of it. But then you can push at it and pop off of the flat and go down the rail as well. Or you can skate the rail and grind up it from the flat ground. Which
Okay.
I saw this guy Wes, he was a soldier. I watched him, the clip of him doing nose grind 180 out up it, the whole thing. It's like, what the fuck? Wes is young, he's still got pop. So I was like, maybe I could maybe just front 50 up it. And so I did. I front 50'd up it from the flat.
Nice.
It's probably 12 feet long, maybe 14 inches off the ground. So you just but you gotta grind up. So, and it's so fun grinding up rails if you get a chance to do it. It's a blast. But so we built Briargate Skate Park, and then that still turned out like shit. Nobody was happy. Nobody got the bowl that they wanted. Like so, all the guys from BC that wanted a nice little bowl got juked again. So we had another city council meeting probably in 2005, and the stipulation was that we wanted a skate park company to build it. So we wanted them to send out RFPs, a request for proposal, to 3 different companies like Grindline, Team Pain, and somebody else. I don't think Evergreen was in business at that time, but they got Team Pain to come out and do a presentation for us and show us what they've built, and we were like, yeah, we want them. So that was the first time meeting Tim Payne, and knowing that he was like this famous dude that built Matt Hoffman's like BMX quarter pipe that he did his world record highest air on, and he built the animal chin ramp and all this stuff. We were like, we really want Tim to build our park. And so
he built Animal Chin, the original one.
Yep.
Really,
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. He was a wood construction dude, and built templates like a wizard. Like, so that was like what he really. And honestly, Team Pain has a wood crew, and then they have all their concrete crews too.
Okay.
So
I didn't know all that. All I know that Sarasota was his first like actual public park.
Yep.
That's what I knew, but I didn't know that he built. That's crazy. He built Animal Chin. Yeah, that's sick.
Yep. And honestly, when we saw that presentation, we saw the photos.
Who else are you gonna choose?
Right. We saw the pictures from Sarasota, and we were like, dude, if we even get half of what they built at that park, we'll be so stoked. Because a lot of us were street skaters, and then there was a bunch of dudes that wanted some transition and some good bowls built. Like every park has a fucking bowl, Frederick, some of the funner bowls, and so they got Team Pain to do it, and they showed up in like 2007, and I went to all the city council meetings and got to meet a few of the guys, and was like, hey, is there any way some of us can help, like volunteer? And they're like, oh yeah, just show up, we'll give you something to do. And I literally took that to heart. So I was working just down the street at Springs Utilities, and I had every Friday off. I was working 410s, and I'd show up on Friday and bring like, little beers, little buds, little something, and start off the morning just like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We need you just to hold this board up on the back wall here so that when we shotcrete, it doesn't overspray, hit people's cars, and, waste concrete. So literally just holding a 4x8 sheet of plywood up with handles on it to make sure that it didn't overspray. And then, hey man, here's a pickaxe. Dig out that big fucking boulder in the back corner of this flow bowl because we don't have an excavator. We've already used it, and now we found a boulder. So I dug out this big fucking boulder out of the flow bowl at the back corner of the Memorial Skate Park. And then as we got farther and farther along, they're like, hey man, here's a pair of wire ties. Here's how we want you to tie all of the joints of the rebar. So got the wire tie all day, every day. And then after it got poured, come back and snap chalk lines, and we'd saw cut expansion joints. So I did a bunch of different little fun steps on the first stages of building the bowls, because it was like we built a backyard bowl because that's what those dudes wanted to skate while they were here. So they built this like vert backyard bowl, and then they built a replica combi bowl.
Oh, sick.
So we've had contests there, and like Andy McDonald, Mike McGill. I got to skate with Mike McGill.
That's awesome.
That was fucking fun. I was paid $7 to skate with Mike McGill
That's so
in
sick.
the Masters Bowl contest, and I got like 6th place, so that was pretty
Hell
fun. And then there was the Colorado Mills Mall right up here
Yeah, so
in Golden,
Mhm.
and they had a park in there, the X Games
Mhm.
skate park,
Yeah.
and they had a vert ramp at the back.
The massive.
Massive step up,
Slippery
and the
ass.
bowl that was in there too. And
Yeah.
then, oh, such a fun park. But when they went out of business, this kid John O'Schwan, he had a little nonprofit called Skate Strong. His organization bought that ramp, and the 2 smaller mini ramps
Okay.
from the mall for like 50 grand,
Really?
and
That's
they
a
moved
lot
them
of
down
money.
to the Springs. So after
Are
Memorial,
they inside?
and they're outdoors, and that's
Oh,
the
no.
problem. The vert ramp fucking fell apart.
Yeah, I believe that.
And they just took it down like
Oh, I saw
a
that.
couple weeks ago.
I saw that somewhere.
Everyone was so hurt over
I think
it.
I saw that maybe on Instagram or something. They're saying how they're taking that vert wrap down.
Yep. And it wasn't that the skate light wasn't good anymore and the coping wasn't good. It was an indoor ramp that wasn't built with pressure treated wood, and it wasn't sealed or anything like that. And so
It's kind of a bad idea, honestly.
yeah, it just rotted out, and then became dangerous.
Yeah.
And so for probably, I don't know, probably got taken down a month ago, and for probably 2 months before that, they decided to just screw in a 2x4 across the bottom
Oh, so no one could
so
skate
no one
it.
could skate it,
Mm.
and no one could slide on it anymore.
Mhm.
Because literally kids would just go there and slide on the roll-in.
Scrape
But
their
they,
ass on the screws that are all
yeah, and literally
exposed
rip
and-
your pants on some fucking screws. But they have been maintaining like the 6 to 5 foot ramp that's like 30 feet wide,
Mhm.
and they redid some of the 2x4 in it, and then they skate lighted it all. But kids go there, and they could do it at every skate park. They tag it,
Mhm.
and then the park and rec dudes they probably get tired of trying to remove graffiti, so they just paint over it with gray.
Mhm. Oh, it
So
just gets all
literally, the
shitty.
skate light already has gray paint on it, and all of the beautiful, like what do you call it, replica China banks that we poured at Memorial Skate Park that are red concrete with white seams. People have tagged those, and so now even the big China bank at Memorial has been painted gray.
Nice.
No more red brick. So, but we got all the bowls done at Memorial, and then they moved on to the street section, and that's where I got to kind of help design a little bit with those guys, and just have a little bit of like, hey, can we build it like a jersey barricade, like bump to jersey barricade? How about a bar that goes up and across flat, so like basically a bump to bar, and got to kind of help the welder Tony with working on all that. They were basically like, here's a helper, you can hold stuff and whatever. So I helped Tony with literally most of the welding of the rails there, and that was when I first was like, this is sick, I love welding, it's dope. And then we made this transition to, we call it the witch's nose, but it's like a transition that comes up and then it rounds over on the top and kind of goes uphill, and then at the very top has a bank that goes down, and right next to it there's little transitions on both sides. This side has a bank, this side has stairs, so it's just like kind of a longer 5 stair, and then just to the right of it they kind of bumped it out a little bit and made it a double set, so it's like a 3 flat 2. And then down it we put like a legit hip high handrail. So if you can do a handrail trick on that, which the couple 303 dudes have come down and done edits on it, and I'm like, fuck yeah, it's not a low rail, we'll just say.
Mhm.
I took an angle grinder and grinded my initials in it after we got done welding it.
Hell yeah.
So I tagged it myself, and those dudes were pissed because they were like, man, you can't be like putting your initials on stuff. I'm like, it's not like I scratched it with a stick in the concrete. I just put a little MA in the front of the handrail. But Tony was not happy with that. And then that photo that I showed you in that Chris Joslin Trans World, we built like this giant vert quarter pipes on either side, and then there's a little doorway in the middle. And Current Caples is doing a frontside air over that doorway, and he's like 4 feet high, and all of the front range is in the background. Such a good
Sick.
photo.
Yeah.
But me and Chris hand stacked all of the coping up on there. It was like a hand molded coping. So we built Memorial and built the street stuff, and then they had their grand opening, and then right after that, it was just on. Like then they built Arvada, they built Wheat Ridge, they built Little
Golden.
Piggy Park,
Golden.
Replica O.
They built Skyline Park. They built. Yeah, they just went crazy. Broomfield Park.
Broomfield, and then they redid as of lately like Cushing.
Oh, yeah,
Park
they
with-
redid Kush. Right?
Yeah, with the green ramps and rails
That's
around
cool
the
that
back.
they left. Did they leave the mini ramp there?
They left the mini ramp.
That's
there.
awesome of
Yep.
them.
Which I haven't skated it, but it looks fun. And
Yeah,
like,
I haven't been down there yet either. It's
I
already
wanna-
like 3
I want to
years
grind
old.
the rail that goes around the back of the park, which a million people have done already.
They
but
didn't. They cut that down and shortened it.
They did. That's why I want to skate it now, because I'm like, it used to be really tall, and now I'm like, now with old man size, I think I could do it. So
Yeah.
at least maybe just like Smith grind and pop back onto the flat ground,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and maybe ollie over the rail like Aaron Homoki Jaws, like kick flipped over it into the parking lot, which was pretty sick. And so yeah, a lot of skate history in the Springs, and then
Yeah, actually that's pretty intense. That's kind of globally relevant skateboard history.
history.
Yeah.
And like we were talking before we actually got on camera about was just a few heads have come out of the Springs that actually ended up like Windsor James. I skated with him when he was a really little kid, watched him skating handrails that I was trying to do. And I actually I cut the end of this kink off on this handrail at the junior high that I probably would have went to had I not been in Germany. I'd ollied the stairs a few times, and I had board slid it with the kink, and most of the time the kink would like literally yank your board right off your feet. So I went there in the middle of the night with a fucking hacksaw, not a grinder, a hacksaw, and like handrail came down, vertical rail came down like this, and they had like a little kink on the end of it, and I just cut it off right in the front, right at the bottom. And Windsor backside nose grinded it, and it was on the cover of Skateboard Mag,
Damn.
like issue number 4,
That's sick.
the Atiba shot. And I was like, I fixed that rail. So, and then, yeah, I think after we built Goose and I, skating with crews of guys before we ever even built skate parks, I went up to Denver a bunch of times. We were like, hey, we're all going to go to Denver for the weekend, or for the day. And so 3 or 4 guys would jump in a car times 4 and go up to Denver and meet at like I said, either Civic Center or Cheeseman, and then skate everything in between there. And then we meet up with a couple guys, like skated with Dave Davis back in the day and Shad Spencer back in the day, and they would just show us more and more spots. And we go out into the neighborhoods, like into Lakewood, and skate some of the shit that Jamie Thomas was skating when he would come here to visit. I don't know. It just turned into, now I'm filming with Ryan Millard a bunch from 303, and we went on Denver missions, and then we decided to go to Phoenix one time, and then hit up Albuquerque on the way there, and skated UNM and got clips with Ryan at UNM, and bet Micah Hollinger $40 that he wouldn't grind this like 11 rail behind
That blue one?
Yeah, the one that
Really?
Daniel Lutheran grinded.
Yeah, like 20 years later.
And 20 years later, and Micah did it like second try,
Yeah.
and I bet him $40 he wouldn't do it. So did my friend Travis that makes those boards. We both were like $40 says you won't do it, and he pops up onto the flat and then like starts to commit down the first part and jumps off, and then second try just does the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we're just like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I just watched a 22 stair kink rail,
Yeah.
round rail grinded. Micah did it so good,
He's
so easy.
So good. Yeah, he's so sick.
He'd do pop shove it, 1-footed board slide, front board slides on that bump to bar at Goose.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing. He'd be looking at you while he did it too. And he was so fun to skate with.
Yeah, he's super fun. Dude.
And then when he went to Cali, he just like kickflip, no slid,
Staples.
Staples Center.
Yeah, what a freak.
Like, what the fuck, it's so fucking tall.
This is like the best thing still to this day that's ever been
that's
done.
ever been done on that.
Yeah.
It's amazing that that's the dude that I grew up skating with and knew
Yeah.
and lost money to. I made my money back the next day though, because he bet me that I wouldn't crooked grind this handrail at UNM, and I landed it first try.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, fuck yeah. And
Give
Ryan
me
got
my
the clip
money
of it,
back.
and I was like, I'm not doing that again. I don't know. I board slid it and then I crooked grinded it, and was like so hyped. So it was really cool to have like him. Ryan Millard is a friend. Gordy.
Where's he at? Have you talked to him?
I haven't. I think he plays golf. He goes and takes his dog for a walk. And
Is he still in town?
yeah, he's still in Denver.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And then what was Eric Shelley?
Shelly's so sick.
Shelley was so good and just had the best style and
Best
always
style.
had a good attitude. Like, I don't know, Travis Law, fucking Chad Spencer. It was honestly scary to roll up to whatever spot we were going to skate with those guys as I started getting older, because I'm like, I'm going to get broke off, dude. Like, you guys don't even fuck around anymore. It's always like 14 stairs and weird rails with a tree at the landing and whatnot. So, I don't know. First, maybe 4 videos that 303 ever had, like 99 to like 2003. I had little sections on there. I was like, wow, I didn't realize that was going to become a piece of skate history. But
Yeah. Huge part actually. Like the stuff that he showed me is pretty incredible. It's, yeah, I'm happy that you came on the show. It's like for me, like I was thinking about it, I went to take a break to go to the bathroom or whatever. I was thinking, man, this is like might be like the most like comprehensive as far as like length of time of any guest that we've had on. Of
Right.
just and then especially hearing all the stories about the springs and stuff, which I have no context of anything about that scene at all. So that was really cool.
Yep.
But yeah, this has been awesome, dude. I'm just sitting here, just like, and it's nice because I don't have to carry the conversation, or like usually I have to like kind of like move the conversation, and you just like just laying it all out
I'm a
there.
blabbermouth, and
Dude,
I
it's awesome.
apologize. I also have
I'm
ADD,
enjoying
but
it totally.
I've been, ever since you asked me to be on the show, I was honestly thinking of kind of things and that I wanted to talk about, and just a little bit of skate history, because what I like my friend Ryan at Ritual Skateboards is doing is he posted on his YouTube page the Colorado Anthology, and it's basically old skate videos that nobody really heard of and things that have been done, because we're talking about NBDs and ABDs, and sometimes not that every kid that starts skating these days needs to know what has been done.
And they don't care anyway.
Yeah. But it's like, just so you know, Shad Spencer freaking 360 flipped the freaking the 10 stair at Civic Center before most people were in their diapers. It's like, holy crap!
Yeah,
it's a piece of history. And then like, it's so sick to see my friend Travis at my age own 2 skateboard manufacturing companies and is like doing it for the skateboard community still. And then I don't know, I like trying to design and build skate parks, and that's my only legacy in the Springs, is helping work on pretty much all the parks that we've had built, whether they're concrete or they're built wooden ramps with metal sheeting on the top, like Fountain and Woodland Park skate parks. Those are kind of history as well, that we're like, we might not be able to build a bowl, but we can at least build some good quarter pipes and some good like
boxes.
Prefabricated stuff. So
so it says, was that skiing? Can I read? Skinning 19045 says, love you, Mike, checking in. I don't know if you know who that is, but someone loves you out there.
Rad.
Shouting you out.
Hell yeah. Thank you very much.
Thanks for tuning in live, for sure.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And oh man, I watched some of the other episodes, and you've had some greats on here, and this is freaking awesome. I love the arcade. This is freaking sick.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yep. And I watched some of your Instagram, like your video part, and I'm damn, dude, fucking shreds.
Thanks.
Seriously, like, I'm not a switch stand skater. We'll just say that. I'm not a nollie guy. I'm like, pretty much, I'm so old that I just got stuck in my way like a classic rock guy, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's like, as you get older, you just kind of end up doing the things that you know you can do, like
Yeah.
crooked grinds and 50-50s. So it's
Sure.
like, but it's still fun, and I'm glad my body's allowing me to do it still, because it's, I don't know, it's a total body exercise, and then you really have to,
The mental
yeah,
is the real deal.
50% of it, like telling yourself you can still do that, you know. So I appreciate the opportunity to come up here. So
Yeah, it's great. And like I said, it's like it was really nice just to hear you. Just I didn't have to really say anything. Just you just
yeah,
tell me your whole story, and it's cool just listening. And yeah, I think that I'm hoping that that's what people. It says Aiden. It's Aiden.
Aiden.
Aiden says what's up.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Aiden Jordan. That's the kid I was telling you about. I gave him boards, and I've been snowboarding with him this year. I mean, we only went like 4 or 5 times because the snow was ass this year.
Oh yeah, so bad.
We did so bad. Fucking board is like fucked up from the last day we went, but it's cool to, yeah, have homies that are. I'm 50 years old, and Aiden was like 50 when we first. Excuse me, I was 50. Aiden's like 15,
Hmm.
and we started skating together. And his dad's just like 2 years older than me, but him and I are homies, you know, because
Yeah.
we still skate together. So I skate with dudes that are, yeah, 18 these days, up to like 64 years old, because they want to come over and skate. And so, I kind of touched on Barry's Bowl a little bit, but um, I built a tiny little mini ramp in my backyard. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah, tell me about your backyard, because that's
had
you were
I already
talking
said,
about that before,
yeah,
but
we we had a little mini ramp. It started off as a quarter pipe in the garage, and then the quarter pipe turned into 2 quarter pipes, and now you can't park the car in a garage. So I moved the quarter pipes to the backyard and built this little tiny mini ramp, and it was kind of fun, but it was only like 2 feet tall and 12 feet wide. My wife is a roller skater, like a quad roller skater, and um, she learned how to drop in on our first date, and then right afterwards looped out and landed on her butt and
nice.
bruised her tailbone so bad she was like effed up for like 3 months. So we we met at work, and then she was a derby competitor,
Oh,
roller
roller
derby
derby. Okay.
competitor, and I just like
Roller derby's
the
pretty fun.
so
It's pretty
fun,
tight.
yeah. And I just loved the vibe of her being a roller, and she was a really good jammer, which is the person that
That's
scores
the
the
fast
points, you
ones,
know,
yeah.
the fast one, and cute to boot. So it was just like, I just at least got to talk to this girl at work, you know, a little bit. And then it turned out that we had snowboarding in common and skating in common. And then it was just like, let's go to Leadville. Let's go skate the Leadville Park, because she had learned how to drop in and roll around. And she can do like hand plants to fakie,
Hmm.
which I can barely roller skate backwards at all, let alone do a hand plant and come in backwards. So before we had the mini ramp, we skated like Breck Park and Leadville and Aspen and all that. And Chris had his bowl in his backyard. Another buddy, Justin Richards, built like ledges going down his stairs, and he had a little pocket over off to one side, and then he built a spine, and then he built another transition, and then he decided he needed a bowl at the back of his yard that would bring all the flow back uphill again. So we went over there for one of his 4 days, and my wife was just like, "Well, fuck, I'm not just gonna sit here and hand out beers. I want to learn how to finish." And
Hmm.
she's a really good concrete finisher as well. So
Sick.
she learned the process, and she goes, "You know how sick it would be if we like built a bowl in our backyard?" And I was like, "Say no more." And so on the mini ramp, like piece of birch, we just kind of drew up a shape that we both kind of liked, which was basically a big round bowl with a rectangle hooked onto it and little like 5 foot radius corners in the back. And I said, "Well, what's the ideal size?" She goes, I, something 4 or 5 feet tall in the shallow, and maybe like 7 or 8 feet in the deep end." All right, say no more again. So I talked to Chris at Phantom and was like, "What would it take to do this?" And he's like, "Well, you'd have to rent an excavator. I've got a Bobcat and I've got a dump trailer that you can borrow anytime, but we just got to get an excavator." Well, we had a subcontractor that we were working with, Jesse, Foundation Pros, and he goes, I have an E35 excavator you can borrow it anytime you want. I have a Toyota Tundra, so I was just like, I'll come pick it up, and it's already on a trailer. So I've driven heavy equipment a bunch of times.
Pretty fun though, right?
Yeah, yep. I've also rolled a Bobcat. Sorry, Chris. No, that's not good. And we fucking blew the engine in that thing because it tipped over when we were building Fountain Mesa, and then we tipped it back over and we started it back up, and the motherfucker wouldn't shut off.
Oh,
and then the engine went kaput. So,
wow.
But I've driven plenty of heavy equipment, so I was just like, all right, we can get this excavator into my backyard. I'll build a new gate for my fence that's like full length. Got the excavator in there, and I just like watched Chris do it a million times, and I built Fountain Mesa, so I was just like sat in one position and just kind of cut the transition. Had templates already set up on the dirt, so I knew exactly where to cut and spray paint and whatnot. So we built the bowl for my wife and myself, and it's 24-foot circumference and 44 feet from back end to shallow end. So that took up the backyard and turned out perfect because there was guys in town building a Thornton skate park.
Oh, okay.
And pretty much had 10 professional skate park builders come down and build my bowl for beers and brats.
No way.
Yeah, dude.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then I skated the Loveland Park, and one of the homies that works for Evergreen Skate Parks now, Lance, he hand molded the coping at the end of the flow bowl at Loveland, and I was like, I want that because there's no seams in it like there is in pool block.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out we got the mold and we did hand poured coping on my bowl. It just didn't turn out quite as good as the stuff that Lance did. So I'm actually in the process of pouring pool blocks, and I'm going to demo the hand poured coping and set pool coping because I've had everybody come over, and that's the only gripe that they really have is like the transition and the flow is so good and so fast. You can pump around it and you never lose speed because of the waterfall and the deep end coming back into the shallow. It's like you can probably do 20 figure eights until your legs are just smoked. But it's just hard to pinch and hold, like, say, a backside 5-0 grind or try to do a crooked grind from the deep to the shallow.
So, like, push you out?
And it just, you either pop up onto the deck or you pop back into the transition, and it just doesn't lock in good because it's a little lumpy and it's kind of big.
Oh, okay.
And so the first few people, I'm like, whatever, it's just you. But as I've seen more and more people like try tricks on it, I'm like, damn, it could be better. So, and then Chris Berry was like, we could redo your coping. Just got to make some urethane molds, and then you can pour a couple blocks every day, set them in water so they'll cure. And then once you have all the blocks, I can demo the coping. So I'm going to do that this summer.
Oh, sick.
But we, if you go to Ritual Skateboards YouTube, you can watch the contest that we had in my backyard.
Oh, man.
And there was 70 people back there.
That sounds awesome.
And there was Derek Scott, who's skates for ATM Click. He's out of Salida. He lives in California now. He's skating at Tony Hawk's house all the time. Or skating at Tony Hawk's ramp a bunch. And yeah, he's really good. He was my son's coach at Woodward up in Copper. Like 2 years in a row. And I remember asking my son, like, so what's your coach like? He's a good skateboarder. He's like, oh yeah, he's fucking really good. I was like, better than me and my homies. He's like, oh yeah. He's like a vert skater. So I was like, rad.
Your son skates too?
What's that?
Your son skates too?
Yep. He's 22. He lives up in Fort Collins now. And
is he going to school up there?
Or? He's working. He does HVAC.
Oh, okay.
And his girlfriend was going to school up there. So he's just like, she wants a roommate, and I want to be her roommate. So he finally got my 21-year-old out of the house. So.
Nice. Congratulations.
I didn't have to kick him out.
That's great.
He just left on his own.
That's cool.
And so he helped build that park in 2020, and he helped with tons of the pours, tons of the finishing, helped me build a double-sided curb. So after we built the bowl, I just was like, what am I going to do between the bowl deck and the house, and between the deck and the fence? add more concrete.
Mm.
And after I skated the Bradenton skate park,
Uh-huh.
and it had that super fun low A-frame rail,
Uh-huh.
I was like, I want to build an A-frame rail because they're so fucking fun. And like Salida has one, so went and bought the steel, and we wet set 4 posts and built the banks and welded the, the bars on top. And we put a little tiny mitered piece in the very top, so we don't actually have a point.
Oh,
It
okay.
actually just rolls over. So
Uh,
dudes have done grind tricks from flat over the whole thing.
that's awesome.
Like my buddy Bobby Hebner that skates for Ritual, he did a 5-0 up Smith grind down
Damn.
the thing, and I was like, super easy. And my friend Caleb Smith, I've mentioned a few times, is 50-50'd up it and then kick flipped off of the peak down to the bank below.
Sick.
And yeah, he's good. He's really good. So the contest was fun though, because we had we had little kids, we had women's division. There were no little girls, otherwise we would have had a little girls division, but little dudes, women's, and then some okay dudes, and then some better dudes, and then some pro dudes. I think is how we had it listed, you know. And the pro dudes was like there was 20 guys that showed up because we had $1,000
Oh, really?
cash from the owner of Planet Granite for
Sick.
prize money.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that was the first time I met
Are
Gerard.
you gonna do it again?
Yep. And that's once I redo the coping. So we're gonna have Barry's, Justin Richards, and my house as
Like
one a month for a series, because we did the one and it was sponsored by a skate shop that was in town called Mountainside. And Adam had money for ours, but he didn't have money for the other ones. But Barry's is gnarly, so you kind of have like a certain group that show up for Dirt Bowl that are a good big transition skater. It was so fucking fun. And then we had another buddy, when we built our bowl, another friend, Jason McKee, built his bowl. It's called Fuzzy Bowl. And it's got a square pocket, kind of like ours does, but then it kind of waterfalls down, and then it waterfalls down again, and then it goes into a deep end that has a little bit of vert. And then in this corner, it has a little bit of a bump out, and he has a love seat right here. So the love seat makes it a challenge to do tricks over it, you know, or just even to carve over it. So we did Barry's, then we did Jason's, and then we did ours, Veronica and I's, and then we did Justin's in October. So one a month up until October, we had just the little get-togethers.
That sounds fun.
And ours, we decided to have. You got 5 minutes, and there were 3 people in your heat.
Okay.
So it was you. What's his name?
William,
and myself. We're all in one heat. And as soon as you go and you miss your trick, then I go.
Oh,
as soon as I miss my trick, then he goes. And you get 5 minutes, and that way you get kind of people's best stuff and not their 45-second
just cruising
stock
around.
run, cruiser run that are like, oh, I'd rather see a back lip than a backboard slide, you know?
Yeah.
So just like Gerard Penny, it really impressed me because he did like 8 tricks on the A-frame back and forth, and was able to just like quarter pipe, axle stall, or he would actually do like a quarter pipe trick too, and then come back and like do backsmith, and then come back and do fucking front feeble on the other side, and so good, such a good skateboarder. But the thing was you had to do something on the manual pad, which I have like a little cantilever manual pad that's 12 inches tall, and it's 40 inches by 10 feet. So it's kind of like a ledge, but it's kind of like a manual pad.
How tall is it?
And I put angle iron in it.
40 inches tall?
Yep.
Okay.
12 inches tall, 40 inches wide.
Oh, 4 inches wide.
So
12 inches tall.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good size to learn stuff on.
And it's like I'll just skate that most of the time because I don't want to slam in the bowl.
Yeah.
And be by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just go out and skate the manual pad and get tail slide shove it's out again or something, or 5-0 or something. And then the A-frame is fun because it's just kind of a mellow bump, and the rail's only about 16 inches tall, but they're 10 feet long. So you do have to like stand up on that bitch to get off the end of it. And weld a little pipe cap on the end. And
is it, you still got coping on it?
And
or is it just concrete?
What's that?
The manual pad.
The manual pad is concrete, but I welded a angle iron frame,
Okay.
and then put the instead of having the angle iron on the top,
Uh-huh.
the angle iron is just on the sides,
Oh, okay.
and then the rest of it's underneath, and then we pour concrete on top of that.
Okay, so the top is concrete and the side is.
Yep. And so the wax holds on the concrete really well,
Uh-huh.
but then you just have just a little 2-inch tall piece of um, angle iron on the side.
Keeps the sides from getting smashed at.
Yep. And that way it doesn't chip out as well.
Yeah.
And I let it cure and kept wetting it for like a week
Uh-huh.
before I ever even grinded it, so it would not like chip out whenever you hit it.
Right.
And then I also welded in some rebar into it so that it wouldn't break
Get
or
all
move.
get all swampy.
Yep. And then it's nice because when you have that steel, you have something really
Oh, flat
nice
to.
to screed against.
Uh-huh.
And then just let that set up, get it kind of fuzzy, and then you can hit it with a hard trowel. And I love concrete finishing, and I love welding. And
I bet
honestly,
it turned out perfect.
the manual pad, literally people would just come there to skate the manual pad.
Yeah, that's probably what I would.
My friend Elijah.
Sounds like probably the only thing that I would skate if I were to.
If you come down, dude, we should have a session. We could skate the manual
That
pad
sounds fun.
because I saw your ledge prowess, bro.
Oh,
It was
thanks,
so
man.
sick.
Thanks, man.
And then the rail is like it has a little bit of something, and then all the corners have a hip, so you can pretty much skate just the deck. You don't even have to skate the bowl. There's like quarter pipe
How
here.
did you said it's 4 foot at the bottom or 5?
What's that?
Your bowl.
The bowl is 5 foot, and it goes waterfalls down into 7 foot.
Okay.
It's got an 8 foot radius in the deep end,
Mhm.
so it's just shy of going to vert. So it's like kind of like a big mini ramp.
Mhm.
You definitely don't want to fall from the top to the bottom,
Yeah.
which I freaking did on Saturday
Oh, no.
with a couple homies that came down from North Glen Skate Park. This
Uh-huh.
guy Justin hit me up because they were doing a punk rock show at this place called Thrasher's Bar in the
Oh,
Springs.
Thrasher's out.
Yep.
Is that place as fun as it looks on their
I haven't
Instagram?
been there yet.
You haven't been?
No, because I haven't been drinking, I haven't been smoking, I haven't been doing
okay.
nothing. And I'm like, well, fuck, maybe one of these days I'll go get a sandwich or
I
something.
want to go down there.
But it is a skateboarder bar, and
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
looks
fuck.
fun.
So
Looks
they were
fun.
doing a show there, and they wanted to skate, so they came down at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and there was like 4 of us, and it was so fun because I hadn't skated the bowl like that in a long time, and it's like, yeah, if I do the coping again, it's going to be even better. But it was still super fun to skate with guys that want to skate the bowl because they're not really handrail oriented, and I don't think any of them popped an ollie the whole time we were there. We just
Yeah.
skated the bowl, but a bunch of roll-ins, but I'll have other friends that'll come over, and they like Aiden, who commented he's so good. He just do front feeble on that thing like first try.
Mhm.
And I filmed a line of him and another buddy, Rory, the other day when we skated there for like 20 minutes, and then we went and skated Fountain Mesa, and then we went and skated Fountain High School, which is just a street spot,
Mhm.
and it's got a big 3 block, which the blocks are all about 12 to 14 inches tall, but they're kind of long, so you got to get a little bit of speed to get out off of it. And yeah, Aiden back 360 ollied it, and I was like,
Dang.
that was sick. I never in my best day could I back 3 ollie like a fucking set of stairs. And then Rory kick flipped it, and then I just ollied it. I was like, 53-year-old guy, big 3 block ollie, but got a super long bottom stair that's, I shit you not, 30 feet long, waxed. Somebody rub bricked it, and then they freaking lacquered it, and then they waxed it.
Nice.
It goes. And I
Perfect.
crooked grinded about half of it from the middle to the end,
Uh-huh.
but it was probably the best crooked grind feeling I've done in a minute.
Yeah.
It's a nice tall block. I like ledges too. So.
Yeah.
And some dude was trying to kick us out in a golf cart, and I was like, man, there's all these guys over there playing baseball, and you're not like, this is a sport. This is like an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
We're not messing with anybody. We're not
Baseball's not
hurting
even an Olympic
nothing.
sport.
And you're over here trying to kick out a 50-year-old guy. I
Right.
was like, we'll leave when we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, he didn't say shit.
Tell him
anymore.
like
Just
it
cut-
is.
like, literally, it was like, we're gonna skate here. You're not gonna do anything about it. Or that, or you can call the cops.
Yeah.
And then once they get here, we're gonna tell them the same thing. All right, we'll leave.
Yeah.
I'm sure that thing's probably gonna get skate stopped any day now. But we got ways of taking those off too.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it's fun still skating with those guys. And then yeah, we plan on doing contest series again. If I can get the coping on in the next like month or two, then we'll start that up. And Barry's it's fun. I still enjoy skating there, and then I like skating at Justin's. And then there's a couple dudes that have crazy mini ramps in town too.
Mm.
I'm not gonna mention those, but it's the one dude has one on like the southwest side of town, the other one's up in Black Forest, and if you like going back and forth on a swing set, they're super fun. But I don't know, I like warming up at my house and then going skate somewhere else.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like a dream life, bro.
yeah, everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did this." I'm like, "I know, I'm fucking crazy for doing it at my age."
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I did it because all of us in the family skated, and then
Yeah.
my son moved out, and my wife had a baby,
Yeah.
and it's just been me kind of holding the fort down lately. But
Still sick.
yeah, people hit me up every once in a while just to have a session, and I'm like, dude, I'll get the fucking blower out and we'll skate. So, but now I'm gonna redo the coping and get another 5 years out of it because it's literally already been there for 5+ years.
It's
And
fucking awesome.
the worst part about it is when we do get snow is shoveling. Like,
Oh, you have like a drain? A drain?
I
for
do
the
have a
pool?
drain in it, and I put the deep end on the
Downhill.
north side, so it sun comes up on the
Oh,
south and
uh-huh.
reflects into the deep
Oh,
end
okay.
versus having the deep end on the south and
Just getting all
just
piled
making
up.
a shadow and piling up. So if I get out there right after it snows and I get it off there, it's usually not too bad. And sometimes it's just light powder, you can use a blower.
Mhm.
But other days your back hurts because you're shoveling out a foot of snow. But I've also ridden my snowboard in the backyard a few times. I jumped out of our little platform that's in our treehouse.
Uh-huh.
It's like a little, almost like a sub box, quarter pipe down here, and there's a little platform up here with coping on it,
Uh-huh.
and jump out of it and into the transition into the snow, and then slide the rail and then roll into the bowl
That's
on the
sick.
snowboard. So snowboard it, and then yep, I've always had little things in between. I've never really stopped skateboarding from probably 88 to 2026.
That's crazy.
But I've always just we have injuries, and
yeah.
I've broke my humerus, broke my wrist, broke my collarbone, all pretty much mountain biking because I got into that because I worked at a bike shop, and a buddy was like, "Should come to a race with me up in Evergreen," and I went and watched this kind of side by side dual slalom race and was like, "Wow, that looks really fun." The next weekend I entered one and just did it like not quite beginner, but they called it sport. I did the sport class and I ended up winning and upgraded to expert. And then from expert, I moved up to semi-pro,
Mhm.
and I raced semi-pro for 2 years. And then I had enough good race results and 3 letters of recommendation from other professionals
Mhm.
in the Springs that I was able to upgrade to pro.
Wow.
And then I raced downhill mountain bikes, which is basically Keystone.
Dude, that shit is so scary, bro.
Yeah, that's why I got broken bones. So I was
Those
just
some of those courses that you see people, I don't even want to walk down them. They're like
so rocky.
really, yeah, so rocky,
Giant jumps.
crazy ass turns, super narrow,
And
but so
Red Bull-
scary. Like
Red Bull has
Terrifying.
turned the sport of downhill into the gnarliest thing. And it's
Terrifying.
almost for the elite guys and women only
Mhm.
because the jumps are so big, you don't even want to hit them when it's windy out. You will get blown off in the air because they're 70 feet.
Mhm.
It's like snowboard slope style.
Mhm.
And then literally there's there's cross country, there's dual slalom, there's downhill, and then there's an event called slope style, which is dudes doing flips and tail whips on mountain bikes. And then they go out to Utah and they do it off of cliffs
Yeah.
that are 50 foot down and 50 feet out. And my buddy Chuck, my good buddy Chuck Stevens at Rock Shocks, which is in Colorado Springs, he's like, it's insane to see it in person because he goes out there to support the athletes.
Mhm.
And he's like, I'm scared for some of these
Yeah,
guys. I'm nervous.
I don't even like watching that shit like on YouTube. Like I see them like they'll have like the GoPro on.
Yep.
And I just go past it, dude. Because
You're
I
right.
don't like even watching it. It scares me.
It doesn't even show justice of how fast you're actually going because it kind of dumbs it down a little bit.
It's definitely like those people. And every time I see anybody free climbing, like,
Yeah.
I don't even like
free climbing
watching
makes
it.
me sweat. And my friend Keith, he's a climber himself, and he shoots a lot of climbers. Like the guy that climbed the side of that building.
Yeah, I
and
don't
he's
like
friends
watching
with that
that
dude.
at
And I'm
all.
like, you can't make a mistake doing that.
Right.
And mountain bikes, I mean, you can slide out and you can recover, but I've gotten concussed a bunch of times. I'm honestly surprised that I can remember half the shit that we're talking about, because I've seen just this little dot, and I can't. Everything else is cloudy, and that's how I know I've gotten a concussion for the day. But
For the day.
I somehow got into it, being a skateboarder, and then just kind of just kept doing it, and then all of a sudden it's another hobby that I do. Excuse me, or another sport.
Shit's expensive too.
And it was very expensive. Like, bikes are not cheap, race entry fees aren't cheap, traveling, hotels, food while you're there, fucking tires alone are $80 a piece.
Dang.
And you're wearing those out at the venue, like in the weekend. And so I raced a lot of Colorado, a couple times down in New Mexico. I say a couple times, probably 10 years in a row in Angel Fire, New Mexico. It's one of my favorite courses down there. And then out in Moab, out in Utah, they'd have a chairlift that went up this crevice, and we started at the top and raced to the bottom down to the river. And it was the beginning of the season, and it was always the hardest course. It would destroy my wheels. And I'm like, cool, I got to build a new rear wheel when I get back to the shop. So
you're building wheels like with the spokes, like
Yep. So I worked at the bike shop for 10 years, and was like just basically a shipping and receiving guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved into just shipping, picking items, put them in a box, shipping them out. And then I did customer service. And then I worked on, we had a mail order catalog called Colorado Cyclist. And I worked in phone sales for 2 years. But I really didn't want to just sit in a cubicle talking to guys about their fucking Lycra shorts and their chamois butter and all that stuff. So I wanted to work in the shop building bikes, and asked if I could move to the bike room, to the wheel room. They're like, yeah, we always need wheel builders. So I built wheels in a stand, in a touring stand. And yeah, you drop the spokes in the hub, and then you have to do the crossing pattern and attach the nipple to it. And then you had to tension it up. And then you put it on, kind of almost like a hydraulic press bench. And this hydraulic thing came down and would stretch all the spokes down this way. You'd flip it over, stretch them that way, and then tension them back up, and then Loctite all the nipples. And so I hand-built wheels for 2 years.
That's crazy.
And then I moved on to building custom bikes. So I built $5,000 bikes all day, every day.
It's like welding bike frames. And
I didn't ever get into welding frames, but I did in between 5 years at Cyclist, and then I left, and then I came back, and for another 5 years I worked at RockShox mountain bike suspension.
Mm-hmm.
So they build
that's a local company.
Yeah, they were in San Jose, and then they moved everything to Colorado Springs.
Okay.
In late '99, and so I worked for them in 2000. So whole time still skateboarding, but then ended up working at RockShox. And when I'd go to out of state, I went and visited Rancho Cucamonga, brought my skateboard with me. And my buddy that I shot photos with, Shad, came pick me up from LA, and we went and skated a bunch of stuff. And that was the first time I saw Hollywood High School, 16, and was like, yeah, I'm out here for work, not necessarily to get broke off, but yeah, we skated like Wilshire set and some of the.
Did you hit the Wilshire rail?
Wilshire rail, just like the 12 stair side, the like Costin, like nollie heel flip no slid. Mm-hmm. Like the little side, not the big side. And I didn't even attempt to all
it's a 12?
Side. Yeah, I think it's a 12 on one side, and then like a
8,
like a 15 or 16 on the other side. And
you hit that rail?
I didn't hit the bigger one. I hit the smaller one.
Yeah, you hit the
yep.
That's thick,
just front 50.
That's awesome.
That's pretty much my stock only trick I can do down a handrail. No, I probably I filmed all I could. Like a back lip was probably as good as I got, but it's just crazy to see what dudes can do. Like, I'm so stoked you had Julian Christensen on here like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then
he goes and just
and then he
crushes
does
at that comp.
PLS contest, and then they end up winning the thing.
Yeah, they won.
And they won.
That
and I
was
was so stoked.
sick.
And he honestly, the other Julian had a couple of off days. Julian Christensen, our homie, never had one off day. No. He was always Mr. Consistent. And so if there should have been anybody that was MVP, I think it was our boy Julian Christensen.
For sure.
I did a contest 2023, the year before I went down there to Salida and watched the contest, and I got yelled at by the announcer Dave Duncan for skating in the practice. And I was like, I'm down here, I'm helping clean off the fucking rain and making sure that like it's skatable. And he's yelling at me for skating during practice. So the next year I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna enter. So I entered at like, yeah, I was 51 and entered the pro contest with and skated against Julian and Gerard and all the rest of those guys. And I was like middle of the pack, but it was still super fun.
Yeah.
I did the couple tricks that I could do that I practiced and was like, damn, I haven't done a pro contest in a long time. But that's when I met Julian, and he's the nicest
Yeah,
dude.
he's super nice.
He's super nice, got kids and family, and the reason he never left to California because you got things,
He's got
you got
priorities.
obligations you got to take care of when you have children and you're married and whatnot.
Yeah, there's no money in skating for skaters anyways anymore. So it's like that dream is like almost over if you don't have your own like personal brand.
Yep. So proud of that dude. And I'm so proud of that whole team. But yeah, Christensen should have been MVP, I thought. And it was really fun to watch because I was like, holy crap, now it's coming down to the finals. And yeah, my wife even got into it. She ended up watching the finals with me. She's like, oh, they'll probably just do semifinals and then finals another night. And I'm all, no, it says finals on here. So they went like 4-2 and then 2 to the winner. It was like, oh, so dope. It was so yep, skating. I didn't skate in my contest. I actually skated in Chris's, and then I skated in Jason's, and then I just judged mine because I'm like, I want to see what everybody's doing, and I want to be in control of who's fucking winning and who's giving this cash out instead of letting 3 judges determine because that's their homie. You know, I'm like, the best dude's gonna win, and then so. Yeah, Derek got first, and then we call him Other Jesse. There's like one of the danglers, Jesse, that got a beard, shaved head, kind of a biker dude. He is a biker. And then there's Other Jesse who skates the D Park. He's got the Denver Broncos tattoo on this.
Jesse Mondragon.
Yeah, Mondragon. He got. We got him in second place because he did a
backflip.
fucking McTwist in our ball.
Oh dang!
And he did a couple Miller flips and he snaked everybody. It was so fun watching him. He's like full of energy.
Yeah, he's a handful.
Super nice dude.
He's super nice.
Yep. So you should have him on the show sometime.
I asked him and Louie, and one of these days I'll get either one or both of them on. Yeah,
he's probably got some stories.
Yeah, he's sure he does.
It was really fun watching all those guys skate and do their best stuff. But then that I met Gerard that day too, and I was like, holy shit, he just did like 8 tricks in a row, including like kickflip front board, then rolled into the bowl, did a Smith grind in the deep end, and then like blunt to rock to front board or something. I was just like, okay, he's a good transition skater too. So
he's amazing all around.
We split that $1,000 up between the 3 of them, and they were all stoked to get a bunch of product and a little bit of money. But the next time I do it, I might do it for cash for tricks because I felt like there was a ton of dudes that skated good but just didn't get anything out of it. And I think cash for tricks, like fucking here, that's a $10 trick, that's a $20 trick. So I think that's kind of fun too. So that I think that's the gist of it. I probably went around in too many circles, but I tried to close them as well.
No, it was great. I think this was probably one of our best episodes, honestly. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. I was smiling the whole time. It's great to meet you, man.
Thank
you for like contributing to like skating in Colorado and just keep doing it, and all the stuff that you said that you're part of, building parks and keeping the community stoked, bro. And that's awesome. Like, your story is really great, and I'm glad to have met you, and glad that you took the time to off work to drive up here. And just at a drop of a hat, basically, I just asked you, and you just like right away, like, I got the day off, I'm coming up here. I'm like, hell yes, dude. Like, that makes my job like super easy, and
sweet.
It's just been a really great experience, and hanging out with you's been really awesome, man.
Heck yeah. I just want to thank you and the cameraman, Will.
Yeah.
Yep. And all my friends, my family for sure for this opportunity. And just hopefully my ankles and my foot will feel better. Just gotta keep working them out and get back to where I was at when I was 50, because I'm like, holy shit, I was like actually skating a lot and pretty good again. So just whatever. But at the same time, I've got guys that are, like I said, 63, 64 years old that I look up to that are still full of energy and power, like Rob Miller and Chris Mike and yeah, all the older heads that came before me. Because yep, got respect for those guys too. So
Yeah,
thank you guys.
definitely inspiration because I feel super old, and then now like watching, hearing your stories, I feel like, man, you really don't got any excuse to not be like shredding
How old are
them.
you, Matt?
I just turned 40.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going, damn, I'm gonna be 40. I didn't think I was gonna make it I didn't
Yeah.
think I was gonna make it to 25. And then I turned 40 and we went to Hawaii for my 40th birthday. Thank you to my ex-wife. And yeah, my son was his birthday's on the 27th of October. Mine's on Halloween.
Mhm.
And so we basically went out there to celebrate both of our birthdays. He was 9. I was ready to turn 40. So skated the Lahaina skate park, which was so cool. But they
You on
ended up having a
Maui?
big fire there in Maui.
Mhm.
Yep, and like all of the town of Lahaina burnt up.
Mhm.
Such a bummer.
Yeah.
But I just remember going, I'm not going to be that kook that shows up and like acts like a badass or snakes anybody. I'm just gonna like,
You don't want to snake Hawaiians, bro.
no,
First of all,
you
you
don't
don't
want to
want
do
to.
anything disrespectful to Hawaiians. And so I just watched and I was like, fuck yeah, that was sick. And like for like a solid half an hour, and then I'd like drop in and carve around.
Did you skate Pukalani? Think they built a skate park
I only
before there.
skated like 3 parks: Wailuku, which was like right by the airport. This one by Kihei, which is like
Mostly
like a
transition.
transition.
Mhm.
They built a vert ramp and a little bit more like prefab stuff.
Mhm.
And then so that was like Kihei skate park, and then Paella, if I'm pronouncing it right, it's like where their giant wave crashes and like dudes strap surf out on it, and it was just like a little YMCA park. And
The one by the airport is kind of like it's fenced in, right?
yep,
Yeah, and then it's got like
so
the
you've been there,
yeah.
sick.
I was living there for a while.
Yeah, Maui. I've only been to Maui 3 times
Yeah.
and skated as much as I can, but I guess there's one on Uptown.
Up
Or
country.
yeah, up
Yeah, I think that's
Haleakala,
yeah, I think that's Pukalani, but I don't think I think
Pikalani.
it was I think they built it after I left, so I
I,
haven't been there.
I guess there's one in Hana as well, which is like a really old one, but
Mhm. On the
it
other
looked like
side
it
of
was
the
kind of fun.
island.
Yep. So I don't know. Maui's really fun. I'd like to go visit like Kauai and Oahu
Hmm.
and some other stuff because my friend like the Fuzz, that's where he was from Oahu,
Oh, okay.
and I'm like, but Maui's pretty dope. It's fun to surf and skate
Yeah.
and go get mai tais in the afternoon all in one day. It's so sick.
Yeah.
So
Pretty good times.
I could tell a billion more stories, but I think we did a pretty good job of covering like
Yeah.
the
Is there
80s to the 90s
yeah.
and the
Is
2000s.
there anything else you wanna like part with, or any shout outs, or any words you wanna
Pretty much,
part with?
yeah. Just I appreciate yeah Barry for hooking me up with like Bones wheels. Still, I had a little flow from Powell back in the day. It was for like 5 years, so it was nice getting
Oh yeah.
mini logo decks from them and Bones wheels. And Rob Washburn hooked it up back in the day, and then he's still flowing Barry stuff. So I still am kind of getting that little trickle down effect. I'm
Sick.
still skating for Bones wheels, and then
Best wheels ever, by the way.
yeah, best wheels ever. And then I've gone through since building my bowl like 3 sets of indies to the axle again because of just having concrete everywhere. So independent trucks, and then yeah, Bones wheels, and then Travis at Point Distribution because he does literally makes some of the best boards, best wood. It's amazing that like friends go out and skate them and go, damn, these are really good boards. Like, what is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, Travis knows his glue. He definitely knows his how thick to mill all his what do you call them?
Veneers.
Yeah, veneers down to, and then they're pretty too. So yeah, if you wanna skate it or hang it on the wall
Yeah,
or
I'll throw it
whatever,
up.
be dope.
Yeah.
And that's about it. I just want to thank you guys again for
Yeah.
having me up here, and then probably go home and make some lunch and see what my wife's doing. She works from home, that's why she's able to watch this. So
Yeah, shout out. Thanks for checking out
and then I'm
the
yeah.
stream too.
I said I told Barry after he's done whatever he's doing today, I'm gonna go over and get those master molds, and once I have the blocks and I start pouring, then I'll start demoing. But Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think we're gonna wrap it. It's a pretty good session. Good podcast. I think Will and Colin are gonna be streaming after this afternoon, and then tomorrow late night stream or after hours stream.
Possibly not.
Okay. Well, it looks like your wife sent one final "I love you," Mike, and I guess she's gonna be on his way home to see you in a little bit here.
I'll drive safe and not piss anybody off.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. If you didn't just catch in the end of this, check the rebroadcast on YouTube. We should have that up tomorrow. And follow us on social so you can keep up to date when we have new guests on and everything that's going on with the arcade. And hope to see you in here or check us out on our next videos, podcasts, and all of our internet production stuff going on. Thank you again. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, William. Catch you next time.